Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone. Wherever you're at in the world, welcome to Last Drops Baseball's live commentary of the NPB and the Japan Professional Baseball League. Today, we are going to be bringing you the Tokyo Yakult Swallows and the Yokohama DeNA BayStars, as this will be a matchup between the two Central League teams. The BayStars are now in a playoff position as they are holding down the third spot in the Central, and in last place are the Swallows. So we'll give you first of all, the starting lineup for the visitors from Tokyo. Leading off and playing shortstop tonight is number 38, Takumi Kitamura. Batting second and at third base is number 8, Igor Emoji. Hitting third and left field is number 33, Soma Uchiyama. And the cleanup spot and playing first base is number 13, Jose Osuna. Batting fifth and right field is number 42, Ren Sawai. Hitting sixth at second base is number 00, Yoshihiro Akahane. Batting seventh and doing the catching is number 27, Yuhei Nakamura. Hitting eighth and in center field is number 64, Yukihiro Iwata. And batting ninth and doing the pitching is number 69, Shinsuke Shimokawa. Shimokawa is making his NPB debut tonight for the Swallows, as they will be taking on Trevor Bauer, who will make the start for the BayStars tonight. And now your starting lineup for the home team from Yokohama. Leading off and in center field is number 1, Masayuki Kuwahara. Hitting second at first base is number 3, Tyler Austin. Batting third in left field is number 7, Kaita Sano. And the cleanup spot and wearing number 2 is second baseman Shugo Maki. Hitting fifth and doing the catching is number 5, Shion Matsuo. Hitting sixth at third base is number 26, Masaki Momori. Batting seventh in right field is number 4, Ryuki Watari. Hitting eighth and playing shortstop is number 6, Kaitamori. And the aforementioned Trevor Bauer will be making the start today for the BayStars. We're going to be back in just a couple of moments. We'll give you all the action in just a few. Appreciate everybody for jumping in with us. We'll be right back after this. Getting our stream up and rolling, and we're glad you guys could be here. Our friend Steve says, I can't believe people are missing the lineups and your pronunciations. Well, yeah, that's probably a fact. We'll be back in just a couple moments. We'll be right back after this as we get our tune set up. Welcome back, everybody. It looks like we're going to be working off a B feed tonight, but it is going to be Trevor Bauer who is completing his warm-up tosses. Our friend Al Rails is in the house, as is Steve Rademacher. And we appreciate both of you guys for jumping in and hanging in here with us, as is Bauer is completing his tune-up tosses, and we're about ready to get this one underway. Coming up to bat for the Swallows, it'll be the top of the order. It'll be Kitamura, Moji, and Uchiyama to start things for the Swallows against Bauer here. Bauer had an outstanding start earlier in the week as he had worked 8 scoreless innings. Unfortunately, got a no decision as the game ended up going extra innings. It went 11 innings, and the BayStars ended up coming out on top. The first pitch of the ball game is a fastball swung on. This ball's lifted into deep left field. This ball is going to be trouble, and this ball is going to be gone. Hits it right into the Swallow section, and just like that, we've got fireworks straight away as Trevor Bauer has served up a home run here on the first pitch of the ball game to Kitamura, and the Swallows, just like that, are up 1-0. Our friend Steve Rademacher, we were talking to him earlier on tonight, and we were commenting about the game that was going on between the Nationals and the Diamondbacks in Major League Baseball, as the Nats had stuck 10 runs on the board. And here we are right here in the first inning, and the first pitch of the game gets deposited into the left field seats where the Swallows visiting fans are seated. So souvenir for the Swallows. First pitch to Igor Emoji, a breaking ball taken for a called strike, and the count's 0-1. Can barely get seated ourselves, and already the scoring is taking place. Breaking ball misses upstairs, and the count runs even to 1-1. Almost got the words out of my mouth to say that Bauer has been pitching much better as of late. Started to get on song, and here he gets welcome to the game with a ball deposited into seats. There's a breaking ball that is waved out and missed, and the count now goes to 1-2 on Moji. Moji hitting .261 with those 5 homers and 16 RBIs. It's been a bit of a godsend for the Swallows, as Murakami has only appeared in 1 game this year. He has played quite a bit of third base. As that breaking ball misses in the dirt, the count goes to 2-2. Moji was a long-time Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagle. As Bauer gets his sign from his catcher, and he kicks and delivers. There's a breaking ball waved out and missed. And Moji is down on strikes. He's gone for the first out of the inning. And that is going to bring up the left fielder in Soma Uchiyama. Defensively tonight for the BayStars, from left to right field, Sano's in left, Kuwahara in center, and the right fielder is Watari. Around the horn from first to third, Austin at first, Maki at second. The shortstop is Mori, and the third baseman is Momori, with the battery of Bauer and Matsuo. First pitch breaking ball delivered to Uchiyama, taken for a called strike. The count is 0-1. Uchiyama batting from the right side here against the right-handed throwing Bauer, getting the start in left field. Normally listed as a catcher, as that fastball is swung on and fouled away over on the third base side. The count is 0-2. Our friend All Rails says, yeah, first pitch, home run. Yeah, welcome to the ball game. Couldn't have served it up any better, and it was the third homer of the year for Kitamura. As Bauer kicks and fires, there is a fastball that bounces up to the plate. The count goes to 1-2. Swallows in their navy, I guess, dark blue tops. They're pretty much navy tops with the green and white trim. On the flip side of the coin, it is Bauer in the all-white uniform. There's a breaking ball swung on and fouled away. And that is right into the catcher, Matsuo. And the count is going to remain at 1-2. That looked like it was a split-finger pitch. Started to dip and dive a bit. The batter fouled it right off into the arm. My friend All Rail says, thank you for sending it there. Yeah, not a problem. Hopefully you get to that restaurant as well. If you do, I got to send me pictures. I'd love to be able to see that. That would be kind of neat. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. There's a breaking ball that misses outside, and the count goes to 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes to Soma Uchiyama. And as Bauer getting his sign from his catcher, Shiomi, rocking into the motion and delivering. Fastball swung on. Oh, he was right on. That was Uchiyama as he fouls it straight back, and the count remains at 2-2. So 2 balls, 2 strikes. We did a quick pivot. Last night we called the game between the Tigers and the Carp, and then when we saw Bauer getting doubled back this week for his second start, we jumped all over that to add that to the menu instead of the Carp Tigers, as that's a split-finger pitch, tap foul over on the third base side. The count remains at 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Bauer mixing his deliveries. That was almost like a slide step out of the windup. There's a breaking ball swung on his top softly back to the pitcher. Bauer comes off the mound, fields it. Underhand flips it to Austin at first, and that is going to retire Uchiyama on a ground out 3-1. So 2 gone here, and that'll leave it up to the first baseman, Jose Osuna. Our friend Joe Mansman in the house. Welcome. Harrison back in here as well. Glad to have you here, Harrison. For the BayStars and Swallows, we did, as we said, we did the quick pivot when we saw Bauer was going to be going tonight, so we were happy to be able to do that. I wonder what kind of starter we're going to see from the Swallows. He's making his NPB debut. There's a breaking ball taken for a called strike, and the count is quickly 0-1 to Osuna. Osuna hitting 257 on the year with 2 homers and 19 RBIs. As Bauer rocks and delivers, there's a breaking ball that misses down, and the count goes to 1-1. Harrison says he's back. He starts his internship today. Well, good luck to you there, Harrison. We want full report on the New York Boulders. Fastball swung on. It's a jam job. It is hit softly over to short. Fielding it is Maury. He throws to first, and that is going to retire Osuna on a ground out 6-3. He's gone for the 3rd out of the inning, and that's going to do it here in the first. 1 run in the inning on 1 hit. There was no errors and nobody left the board. A leadoff home run by Takumi Kitamura has the Swallows out in front 1-0. We'll be back here in just a few. We appreciate everybody who listens in tonight, whether it is on live or on delay. And we're going to be back right after this time out. Welcome back, everybody. The BayStars find themselves in an early 1-0 hole after the leadoff home run by Takumi Kitamura. Coming to bat for Yokohama in here in the bottom half of inning number 1. It'll be Kuwahara, Austin, and Sano to face the right-hander Shinsuke Shimokawa, who is making his NPB debut tonight. Not sure what to expect from this right-hander. I saw number 69 warming up down in the pen. It looks like we may have a sidewinder on our hands. He works out of a stretch position, and that is exactly what we have. A starting pitcher who is a submariner, and the first pitch fastball is taken for a called strike. The count is 0-1 to Kuwahara. Kuwahara batting .279 on the season. No homers and 3 runs driven in. As that fastball misses inside, and the count goes even to 1-1. Friend Joe asked the question, wasn't Tyler Austin a player? He was a New York Yankee. As that fastball swung on, it is driven into the left center field gap. It's going to get down, and it's going to get all the way to the wall. Rounding first and heading into second with a stand-up double is Kuwahara. And just like the BayStars have a runner in scoring position, and that is going to bring up the aforementioned Tyler Austin. The big problem that Tyler Austin had in his major league career was staying healthy. He has done a much better job of staying healthy in the NPB. Last year, he had himself a pretty good year, both at the home run RBI department. But this year, this is only his 27th game, as he again has been bit by the injury bug. He's hitting .219 on the year with a couple of homers and 12 RBIs. And I'll say this, that the offense of the BayStars will get going if Austin can get going. If Austin can start producing here and pick up his numbers, the BayStars will also pick up their pace of play, as there's a first pitch fastball that misses upstairs for ball one, and the count is 1-0. Our friend All Rails says Kuwahara is one of his favorite players on the BayStars as well. Yeah, he's getting to be a little long in the tooth. I wonder how many more solid years he's going to have, or at least to be able to hold down that center field position. I would think that probably the next couple of years they're going to be looking to backfill. There's a soft breaking ball that misses outside. The count now is 2 balls and no strikes to Tyler Austin. When this guy delivers, he reminds me of the pitcher with the Giants. It's, I believe, one of the Rogers brothers, Taylor Rogers, as he works really, really, really low to the ground. So here comes the 2-0 pitch. On its way, it's I guess you'd call it a fastball. It was 125 kilometers. And for us doing the math quickly, that would probably be in the neighborhood of about 74 miles per hour. But it was a strike that Austin took. I don't know if he's going to heat it up more than that. So 2 balls and 1 strike to the American first baseman of the BayStars. Again, the right-hander working himself to the set. Here comes the 2-1 offering. Pitch on the way. Fastball chopped foul over on the third base side. Goromoji picks it up and flips it into the stands for a souvenir, and that runs the count even to 2-2 on Austin. I guess if there's a way to maybe not have Tommy John surgery, it would be to learn how to throw down under like this guy here, and being the fact he's only throwing about 75 miles an hour, he probably wouldn't have to worry about that type of surgery. He might have to get his knuckles regrafted because he looks like he's almost going to scrape the ground sometimes. So here comes the 2-2 pitch. As the right-hander delivers, it's a fastball swung on and lifted foul down the right field line. Again, loosely said with fastball, as that ball was under 70 miles per hour. So 2-2 it remains on Austin. Got to be really patient here against these type of guys. You have to sit back, stay back, and think the other way. Because if you start getting out and around the ball, it's a lot of snap hook ground balls to the pole side. Often is a problem facing the sidewinders. Here's the pitch. 2-2 on the way. Nice job by Austin. He stays inside it, lifts it the other way, moving back onto the warning track and making the catch is the right fielder Sawai. Tagging at second and heading over to third is Kuwahara. Austin's going to be retired for the first out of the inning. That's going to go down as a fly ball to the right fielder for out number 1. And that'll bring up the left fielder in Sano. Well, for Sano, he enters the game tonight hitting .276. He's got a couple of homers and 23 runs batted in. Gets the nod in left field tonight. He had the bird's eye view of the home run that got rocketed out on the first pitch of the ball game, as they got to Trevor Bauer early. One would have to think once he settles down, it's going to be slim pickings for the Swallows here tonight. Some big bats out of the Swallows lineup, specifically Tetsudo Yamada and Munetaka Murakami, neither one in the lineup. Murakami's been out for most of the season, and there's a first pitch that is swung on and missed. And that pitch there would have probably registered at about 65 miles an hour. So no balls and 1 strike to Sano. Pitch was up in the zone as well. Sano looking to try to elevate that. Harrison says he likes Shugo Maki for the BayStars. Maki is a hitting machine born to hit. As the pitch is on the way, there's a fastball that misses inside, and the count is 1-1. I do feel sorry for Swallows fans in some ways, because the team, even though they made back-to-back appearances in the Japan series, they're kind of been really tough to watch. Here's the pitch. It's a fastball swung on and lifted foul down the left field line. The count is 1-2. I have to say, I'm not really convinced that they've got a ton of backfill in terms of talent. I get a lot of production. I'll give the hats off in identifying the international players like Domingo Santana, who's not in the lineup right now tonight. Certainly Jose Osuna. Both of those players have given them a ton of production. But with regards to the domestic players got to do a little bit better job of scouting their players, or at least bringing them in, developing them. As that fastball swung on and tap foul over on the first base side, count remains at 1-2. Beautiful day in Yokohama for this one. Our friend Allrail says his 4 favorite players are Kuwahara, Maki, Sano, and Austin. It's hard to argue with any of those. And certainly on the pitching side of the ledger, they got 3 Americans in the rotation: Andre Jackson, Trevor Bauer, and Anthony Kay. There was a fastball swung on. This ball is lifted into straightaway center field. Should be deep enough. Underneath it, making the catch is the center fielder, Iwata. Here comes the throw to the plate. It's not going to be in time, so that's going to be a sacrifice fly at an RBI for Sano. And just like that, they have evened the score at 2s as Kuwahara comes in and crosses the plate, and we're all square again here in inning number 1. And that is going to bring up the aforementioned Shugo Maki. As Maki coming to the plate, batting a cool .305 with 10 homers and 36 RBIs. Our friend Joe Mansman says the former Met in Anthony Kay. Yeah, that, a Blue Jay and a Cub. Finished his career with the Cubs. Other player out of the bullpen is Rowan Wick. Rowan has actually put together a pretty good season. He started off a little wonky. I think he got sent down and sorted it out, and he's come back with a vengeance. There's a first pitch fastball that just misses low and away, and the count is 1-0. I usually see his dad a couple of times a year. I haven't seen him yet this year. Normally it's in July or August when we run our summer programming. Usually stops by the camp. I refereed basketball with his dad a few years ago. Good man. Fastball swung on, grounded up the middle past the glove of the shortstop, Kitamura. That's going to be a base hit for Maki, and the BayStars continue to swing the bats here. And that is going to bring up the catcher in Cheyenne Matsuo. Well, for Matsuo, this is his second year in a BayStar uniform, and he is producing both behind the plate and on the offensive side of the ledger. He's hitting .328, 3 homers and 10 runs batted in. Another bat in the lineup is not what the other teams need for the BayStars. BayStars have a plethora of offensive players as that breaking ball misses down and the count is 1-0. That last pitch checked in at 57 miles an hour. It's almost like wiffle ball without the wiffle movement. I think of the pitchers from the Giants, like that Logan Webb or Landon Roop. The balls are just all over the place. There's a fastball that misses upstairs, and the count goes to 2-0. I almost don't even want to call them fastballs. I just want to call it a series of changeups. As they throw over to first base, and diving back in time is the runner Maki. Our friend Harrison fist pumping about the Boulders winning tonight. I wonder if we're going to get a visit from Gracie Lynn and her college baseball updates. Lots of interesting stuff going on that side of the ledger. Fastball misses inside. It is now 3-0. Joe says it's a Little League fastball, and some of the best Little Leaguers would be insulted by that comment, Joe. So 3 balls and no strikes as the right-hander works to the set, now delivers. There's a fastball that floats in for a called strike, and the count goes to 3-1. 20 pitches already delivered here by the right-hander. As I said before, I don't see him as a long-range starter. Certainly the way that he throws here, probably more of a Band-Aid than anything. 3-1 on the way. Fastball swung on, chopped over to third. Moji fields it, throws to first, and that is going to do it. It's going to go down as a ground-out 5-3 as Matsuo's gone for out number 3 here in the inning. Well, they got a run in the inning, did the BayStars, on the benefit of 2 hits. There was no errors and 1 runner left aboard. We're through 1 complete, and we are all evens at 1. We'll be back in just a couple moments with all the action. And it is another timeout here from us. But we've got all kinds of interesting stuff to share with you tonight. So here we go. Here is one of our new little features. We'll be back in just a couple moments. We want to give you our little introduction to our friend Steve Rademacher, who is somewhere kicking around in here tonight. We'll be right back after this.
This is Steve Rademacher, and I'd like to introduce you to my channel if you haven't seen it before. These are all the things I enjoy: sports, autographs, relics, non-sports Hall of Famers, pseudo-sports, Star Wars. That's my channel name and my name, and I would really appreciate it if you would come check me out and maybe even subscribe if you like it. Thank you for that for now, and back to your ball game.
Welcome back, everybody. It is Trevor Bauer back onto the mound here for inning number 2, and the first pitch breaking ball delivered to Ren Sawai. This is up and away for ball 1. Count is 1-0. Bauer, 17 pitches in his first inning of work, delivers a breaking ball that misses upstairs. Count goes to 2-0. Sawai hitting .263 on the year, nothing across the slash line. Our friend Allrail says he's watching the game. It is a little hard sometimes because we are on a bit of a delay, as there's a breaking ball swung on and fouled away, and the count is now 2-1. I know last year when I was in Chiba, I was sitting in the stands and I was watching the game at the same time on my phone, and there was approximately a 15-second delay between the game I was watching in the stands live and the game on the phone. There's a fastball swung on. It is grounded over the right side. A diving play by Tyler Austin. He throws from his knees, and he's able to get it to Bauer in time for the putout. That's going to be a ground out, 3-1. Fantastic play there by Tyler Austin, diving to his right. As he gets back to his feet, Trevor Bauer does a good job to get over to cover. So 1 gone here in the second. That'll bring up the second baseman in Yoshihiro Akahane. So what some people do is they sync up our feed with the game. Sometimes our sync will be off just a little bit, but it's about 10-15 seconds. And then when you tap in our third-party service that we use to stream with, as that breaking ball is taken for a called strike, the count is 0-1 to Akahane. What you're looking at is approximately what I would say about a 20-second delay between the live and the real game, as that pitch is a fastball that misses down, and the count goes to 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. It's the best we can do. And as I say, even if we were at the game live, we probably would be feeding it. It would probably be about a 7-second delay. That'd be kind of cool. Sit in the stands and call the game live. There's a breaking ball that misses down and away. It's now 2-1 to Akahane. I thought about doing it, but unfortunately get a lot of the background noise. Some of the music and other stuff that might get you not just nailed with 1 copyright. There's a breaking ball waved at and missed. The count goes to 2-2. But it might be worth a try, although the people around me might be a little annoyed that I'll be talking throughout the whole game. So here comes the 2-2 pitch as the right-hander kicks and fires. There's a fastball swung on and lifted foul, and the count goes to 2-2. Allrail says he's probably going to watch the game and pop in every inning break. That's fine. We know you're around. Especially if you see something crazy, obviously we'll have our take on it here and there. So here comes the 2-2 pitch. Bauer rocks and delivers. There's a fastball swung on. This ball is lifted into right field. Moving back onto the warning track and making the catch up against the wall is Watari. The ball really carried there, but Watari able to haul it in for the second out of the inning. And that is going to leave it up to the catcher in Yuhei Nakamura. Allrail says, after your commercials, of course. Yes, there you go. All kinds of interesting stuff. Just waiting for Gracie Lynn to poke her head in so we can ask her about her comments on the Oregon game last night. There's a grounder over to short, fielded by Mori. He fires to first, and that is going to retire Nakamura. It's going to go down as a book as a ground out, 6-3. And that is going to do it here for the Swallows in their half of inning number 2. And just on cue, God is Great is in the house. No runs, no hits, no errors. Nobody left the board. We did our pivot tonight just for you. God is Great, so we could bring you Trevor Bauer. We'll be back in just a couple moments. It is a 1-1 ball game as we move to the bottom of inning number 2. Stay with us, everybody. We'll be right back after this. Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be Masaki Momori, Ryuki Watari, and Kaito Mori to come to bat here in inning number 2. Our friend God is Great says he's got the game on TV as well. Question I got for you tonight, is it TBS tonight for you, Titus, or is it something different? Momori is coming to bat here to face the right-hander, or the sidewinding right-hander, who kicks and delivers. There's a first pitch fastball swung on. Grounded softly to short. They're going to have to hurry as Momori can get down the line. That's going to be a ground out 6-3. So with one pitch, there's one away here in the bottom of the second inning. That'll bring up the right fielder in Ryuki Watari. Well, for Watari, he's hitting .260 on the season, 3 homers and 11 RBIs. Defensively, we never got through the Swallows portion of their defense, as the first pitch here is a fastball that misses outside, and the count is 1-0. Defensively tonight from the Swallows, from left to right field, Uchiyama is in left, the center fielder Iwata, and the right fielder is Sawai, as there's a fastball taken for a called strike on the inside corner. Around the horn from first to third, Osuna's at first, Akahane at second, the shortstop Kitamura with the third baseman Moji, as there is a ball that floats inside for a ball. And the count now goes to 2-1 with the battery of Shimokawa and Nakamura. Here comes the 2-1 pitch as the right-hander delivers. And it's a floater that just misses outside, and the count goes to 3-1. So 3 balls and 1 strike. God is Great says yes on TBS. There you go. As there is a fastball that is swung on, it is lined right to the first baseman, Osuna. And that is going to retire Watari for the second out of the inning. So 2 gone here. It's going to bring up the shortstop, Kaito Mori. Our friend God is Great said, yeah, game's on TBS. Yeah, we had a little bit of a challenge finding a feed tonight. Normally, J-Sport would carry something like this. But unfortunately, we were not in that vicinity. Here comes the first pitch. It is a fastball that misses up. Count is 1-0. I probably could have pulled it up on TBS. As the right-hander is delivered, there's a fastball swung on. This ball is popped up into shallow right center field. Coming in hard is the center fielder, and he calls everybody off. A nice play there by Iwata. He had to come a long way on that one, and he's going to retire Mori for the third out of the inning, and that is going to do it here in inning number 2 for the BayStars. Well, they go quietly and in order. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left the board. We're now through 2 complete in Yokohama. Your score is the Swallows 1 and the BayStars 1. Stay with us, everybody. We'll be back in just a few with all the action right after this. Welcome back, everybody. Trevor Bauer has just completed his tune-up tosses, and he is going to be facing Yukihiro Iwata, Shinsuke Shimokawa, and the top of the order in Takumi Kitamura, the 8, 9, and 1 hitters to come to bat here. 28 pitches for the American right-hander through 2, as he is getting ready to face the bottom 2 in the batting order before he gets the top. So it will be Iwata to come to bat, who's hitting .242, no homers and 1 RBI. It was a sparkling catch he made to end the inning for the BayStars as there's a breaking ball taken for a called strike. Count is 0-1. So no balls and one strike. 24 for 99 on the season is the left-handed hitting center fielder as the pitch is a fastball swung on and grounded foul. Just past the first base coach's box, and the count now goes to 0-2. So no balls and two strikes. Beware of the Swallows. That is the message that is delivered on the screen. There is a split finger pitch swung on. This ball is going to be knifed into left field. It's going to get down for a base hit as Sano picks it up and throws it back in. So 2 strikes, good piece of 2-strike hitting. That pitch there was probably too good from Bauer. Split finger pitch. It started in the middle and was going away really. And it ended up as the ball was moving away from the hitter. Did a good job of just slapping it over the head of the shortstop for a base hit single. It's the second hit of the night tonight for the Swallows, and that'll bring up the pitcher in Shinsuke Shimokawa. I'll bet dollars to donuts we have a bunt here. Well, Shimokawa coming to bat as he steps in, batting from the right side against the right-handed throwing Bauer. And there he's already squaring to bunt. As the whole park knows it, here comes the first offering from Bauer, and now he steps off the back side of the rubber and freezes the runner Iwata. Not sure why that wouldn't have been charged a balk. In North America, it would have been. He didn't break his hands apart when he stepped off. Here comes the first pitch. It's a fastball. It's bunted down the first base line, fielded by Austin, and he's going to flip it to the second baseman, Mackey, covering. That's going to go down as a sacrifice, 3-4 on the putout. Advancing to second is Iwata, and that's going to bring up the top of the order in Takumi Kitamura. Well, for Kitamura, he has been all the offense tonight for the Swallows as he led off the ball game. The first pitch that he saw, he deposited into the left field seats. His third homer of the year. V2 says, where to watch? TBS is carrying the game tonight, Tokyo Broadcasting System, so that is where you want to go. As Trevor Bauer kicks and delivers, there's a breaking ball that misses down, and the count is 1-0 to Kitamura. That pitch there absolutely turned on. And it was, I will say this, it was a wall scraper. It ended up in the first row. It wasn't like he deposited it 8 rows into the seats. Joe says he's tapping out. He's going to bed. Well, we appreciate you there, Joe, and thanks for stopping in tonight. And go Mets. We have a couple people who like the Mets, and Joe's one of them. As that breaking ball misses inside, and the count goes to 2-0. You and Harrison should have a couple of beers and hang out sometime. I'm sure you'd have a lot to talk about, especially with Juan Soto hitting about 220 or whatever it is. Can strike up a heck of a conversation. So runner at second is Iwata. 1 gone here, 2 balls and no strikes to Kitamura, and there's a breaking ball taken for a called strike. Count goes to 2-1. Cody Gluck says, where can I find the game? You should have been here a minute ago. We just told a couple of these other people's. TBS, Tokyo Broadcasting System, is carrying the game tonight. So 2 balls and 1 strike. As the right-hander Bauer holds set, he checks the runner. Iwata bouncing off the base, and there's a breaking ball. It's taken for a called strike. Count goes to 2-2 on Kitamura. Joe Mansman says Soto had a home run today. Well, even balls hit bats sometimes, or blind squirrels find nuts. So 2 balls and 2 strikes it is, as the right-hander holds to the set. Here comes the pitch. Hey, there's the aforementioned Gracie Lynn. There's a breaking ball that misses down. And it is a 3-2 count now here to Kitamura. Well, we gassed the Tigers Carp game because Trevor Bauer is pitching tonight. When we saw the pitching lineups after the game, we decided we were going to call this one instead. So Trevor Bauer on the hill here for the BayStars, as he is got a 3-2 count here to Kitamura. Here comes the payoff pitch. As the right-hander delivers, there's a breaking ball. Waved out and missed. Oh, he was way out in front. And Kitamura down on strikes. That's the second strikeout recorded tonight by Bauer. So 2 in the books. That'll bring up the third baseman, Igoro Moji. Friend Gracie Lynn was watching her college baseball today, and my question was for you. The runner in the Oregon game that got thrown out at the plate and tossed out of the game, did you agree with that call? Our friend Harrison said Columbia lost. They didn't just lose, they got annihilated today. All Rail said, yeah, he was afraid he was going to hit another home run. That looked like a home run swing. There's a breaking ball that misses upstairs. The count is 1-0 to Moji. I always preface, whenever we call games that Igoro Moji is in, he always seems to step up big. When he was with the Eagles, we used to call games, and it was like clockwork. You get to the 5th or 6th inning, and he was putting balls in the seats and racking up the RBIs. I'm glad to see he's landed on his feet in Swallowland. Of course, with the absence of Murakami, he's getting a lot of opportunities to play. 1-0 pitch on the way. Breaking ball swung on and fouled away. Count is 1-1. Cody says, can you put the link in for TBS? Absolutely not. Can't put the links to the feeds into the stream. That'll get us in a lot of trouble, and we won't have a channel. So you can use Yahoo or Google or a search engine. Tokyo Broadcasting System is what you're looking for. And here comes the pitch. As the right-hander delivers, there's a fastball that misses upstairs, and the count is 2-1. 2 balls and 1 strike. Gracie Lenz said, thinks the call is good. I also agree. I think the call was good too. The more so, it's the fact that the catcher is making a play on the ball. He didn't have possession of it. He was trying to catch the ball. And as he was trying to catch the ball, that was when the ball went off his glove, and then he got run into by the player. And there's a breaking ball that is taken for a called strike. It's now 2-2 to Moji. So there's 2 pieces to it. Not only A is you don't have to have possession, but you have to be making the play on the ball, which was occurring, and that's where, of course, he got run over at that time. So 2 balls and 2 strikes to Moji. Runner at second is still Iwata. 2 gone here in the third. Bauer holds set. Now he kicks and delivers. Breaking ball waved at and missed, and Moji's in the books. So back-to-back strikeouts end the inning. That's 3 for Bauer here in this one. And there is no runs in the inning. There was the leadoff single off the bat of Iwata. No errors and 1 runner left aboard. We are now moving to the bottom of the third inning. Your score is the BayStars 1, the Swallows 1, and we'll be back in just a couple of moments. We all appreciate everybody for being in here with us. It is a 1-1 ball game, Central League action when we return after this.
Hello, this is Eric Fox, formerly of the Oakland A's and Texas Rangers baseball teams. If you want to learn about Japanese baseball, see Coach Fred of Last Raps Baseball. If you want baseball instruction, see Coach Fred. If you want to learn about golf, do not go to Coach Fred. Fred, what kind of club is this?
At Last Raps Baseball, we know baseball. Welcome back, everybody. We know baseball. That is right. And we appreciate our friend Eric. We're going to get a couple more of those commercials done this summer. It will be the 9, 1, and 2 hitters in the batting order to come to bat. Trevor Bauer on the top of the order in Masayuki Kuwahara and Tyler Austin to face the sidewinder Shimokawa here in the third inning. Friend Nicholas says, without getting anybody into trouble, how can I watch the BayStars in America? Well, it becomes very difficult. You're going to have a VPN. As the first pitch fastball to Bauer is taken on the inside corner for a called strike. Count is 0-1. Bauer 1 for 18 this season, which matches his hit total from 2 seasons ago, as there's a fastball that misses up and away, and the count is 1-1. The DAZN used to carry the games. Yahoo Sports in Japan would carry them sometimes to Amazon Prime, as there's a fastball swung on, popped up over on the first base side. Camping out underneath it is Osuna, and he's there to make the catch. That's going to retire Bauer for the first out of the inning. One gone. It brings up the top of the order in center fielder Masayuki Kuwahara. And for Kuwahara, well, he's a 1 for 1 tonight. He had the double to lead off the bottom of the first inning and was brought home after a couple of fly balls. A sac fly from Sano brought him in for the first run of the game for the BayStars. First pitch, fastball swung on, lifted into shallow right field. Drifting back on it is Osuna, but coming over to make the catch is the second baseman Akahani. And then it's 2 quick outs here for the BayStars to start the third inning, and that'll leave it up to the first baseman and Tyler Austin. Gracie Lynn says it's the most regional host not to be 2-0 for quite some time. In fact, the only regional host to be eliminated was the University of Oregon. That's a really disappointing weekend for them. I guess I whiffed on, was it Cal Poly? I think Cal Poly's 2 in barbecue. So this brings Austin to the plate. Austin 0 for 1 tonight. He takes a first pitch center cut fastball for a called strike. The count is 0-1. Austin flew out to right field his first time up. As I mentioned, when you face guys like this, you want to try to have a approach where you really want to stay inside the ball, think the other way. There's a floater at 98 kilometers, which would be about 59 miles an hour that misses up and away, and the count goes even to 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Cody Gluck asked if we'd seen a sword yet. No, not yet tonight. 3 strikeouts, no sword yet. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. Fastball taken for a called strike. The count now goes to 1-2 on Tyler Austin. Oh, sorry, Cal Poly won or lost the first game and then they won one. Yeah, that's correct. As the pitch is on the way, there's a fastball swung on at his line softly right to the shortstop. Nice catch by the shortstop, Kitamura, who falls to his knees, and Austin is going to be gone for the third out of the inning, and that will do it here as the BayStars go in order to finish the third. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left aboard. A third of the game is in the books, and it is a 1-1 ball game. We'll go to the top of the fourth in just a few. Our friend V2 says, how long have you commented on the NPB? About 5 years now we've been doing this, 4 or 5. And so that has been probably about 4 or 5 years. You can see it on our channel as we've got probably about 100 games a year in the books. We'll be back in just a couple of moments. It is 1-1 when we return. This is for our friend Steve Rademacher, who was lurking around in the chat earlier. He has got himself an opener, or maybe he's got himself a beer. I'm not really sure what it is, but we'll be back in just a couple moments right after this from our good friend Steve.
Oh, hello. Oh, hey. Yep. I'm just sitting here listening to Freddie call another game here on YouTube. Oh, yeah, going really good. He's calling a great game, really exciting, lots of stuff going on. You're lucky it's commercial break right now. I got a second. Oh, yeah, of course I'm having a cold one. Oh, yeah, I got plenty of videos coming up this week. You should stop in, check them out, leave a like, tell other people. But, Freddie's coming back. I got to go catch the game. I will check in with you later. You have a good night, buddy. Bye.
Welcome back, everybody. It is a little late in the saddle here. Trevor Bauer has already thrown his first 2 pitches to Soma Ichiyama, and both have gone for balls as the right-hander kicks and delivers again. There's a fastball swung on and lifted foul into the seats over on the first base side. So 2 balls and 1 strike to the left fielder of the Swallows. Uchiyama 0 for 1 tonight. He grounded out to first his first time up as he faces the American right-hander for the second time this evening. A right-hander getting his signs from Shiomi, and he kicks and fires. There's a fastball that misses up. They appeal down to the first base umpire, and up goes the right hand. And Uchiyama is going to be tagged with his second strike, so 2 balls and 2 strikes. All Rail says, how was our day today? It was pretty good. Got a lot of fun today. Just got a chance to relax. The program that I have, our kids got rained out today. So there's a breaking ball tapped down the third base line, fielded on the backhand by the third baseman Mamori. He fires across the diamond, and that's going to retire Uchiyama on a ground out 5-3. So 1 up and 1 away here for the Swallows. That'll bring up the first baseman in Jose Osuna. So we didn't have any baseball today, but it turned out being a great day. After about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, we had sunshine. Not really warm, but it looks like we're going to start getting into the warm weather over the next week to 10 days. Warm for these parts anyways, plus 70. All Rail says he was outside shooting some hoops for about 3 hours. That's pretty good. There's a fastball that's taken for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. I was telling a story today about high school basketball years ago. That when I was in high school, I made 32 consecutive free throws in a row, and people were like, oh, that's pretty good. The school record, as there was a fastball that misses outside, and the count goes to 1-1, was held by a fellow named Mike Berkovich. Mike Berkovich was the backcourt starting mate for Michigan State when Magic Johnson was the point guard. So he went to my high school, and he had the school record. It was something like 236 consecutive free throws in a row. Fastball misses down in a row, and the count down and away. Count goes to 2-1. Pretty unbelievable, actually, when you think about it. Just to be able to have that repeatability, to be able to have that concentration, you probably get bored before you had anything else. Is unbelievable. Here's the 2-1 pitch. There's a breaking ball waved at and missed, and the count now goes to 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. But Burke was the backcourt of Magic when they played Larry Bird at Indiana State in the championship game. That was back in 1979. Mike was quite a few years older than me. There was a fastball swung on and lifted into left field, camping out underneath it, and making the catch is Sano, and that is going to retire Osuna for the second out of the inning. So 2 gone. It's going to leave it up to the right fielder in Ren Sawai. Well, for Sawai, he is 0 for 1 tonight. He grounded to first his first time up. It was a really sparkling play by the first baseman, Austin, who had to dive to his right to stop the ball. Had to fire from his knees to the pitcher, Trevor Bauer, covering to get the out. And here comes the first pitch. It's a breaking ball taken for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. Bauer's now starting to get into a little bit of a groove. As if I was the Swallows, I would be concerned. As the right-hander rocks into the windup and delivers, there's a breaking ball that misses down, and the count goes even to 1-1. I did see that North Dakota State had won. I didn't know that they had beaten Kansas. I saw they did pick up a win there. There was a local kid who is on that North Dakota State team, but he didn't see any action in the first 2 games of the tournament. There's a 95-mile-an-hour fastball that just misses, and the count now goes to 2-1. I don't think Bauer particularly liked that call. It looked like it was a belt-high pitch. I have to tell you, I don't know if I liked it either. It was right in the middle of the mask of the catcher. You're not going to get better than that. There's a split-finger pitch that's waved at and missed, and the count now goes to 2-2. We're talking about the pace of play last night between the Carp and the Tigers. And that ball game there, they were through 4 at this time last night. This one here is still in the top of the 4th. But both games are moving along with some tenacity. There's a fastball that misses inside. Brings the count to 3-2 on Sawai. All Rail said just high maybe. Mm-hmm. General rule of thumb is the catcher's triangle, knee to knee to the top of the face mask. Anything in that area should get you a strike, as long as you're set up in that zone across the plate. When you look at it, the umpire, when he's standing, his belt will be right at pretty much the mask level, as it would be the hitter's. Fastball swung on, lifted into straightaway center field, moving back and then backpedaling underneath it is Kuwahara, and he's going to make the catch, and that's going to do it. So that pitch, all for naught, whether it was a ball or a strike, doesn't really matter at this point. It ends up in and out, and that will be it. So we've got 3 up and 3 down here in the 4th inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left the board. We're now moving to the bottom of inning number 4. Your score is the Swallows 1 and the BayStars 1. We'll be back in just a couple moments with all the action after this little timeout. Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be Kaita Sano, Shugo Maki, and Cheyenne Matsuo to come to bat here when the BayStars return to action. Our friend All Rail says, can't really tell, it doesn't have a strike zone. Kind of the general rule of thumb is the camera angle is obviously offset, so sometimes it's hard to get the inside outs if the angle is a little bit more to one side or the other. That's the first issue. The second issue is that when you watch the glove of the catcher, certainly anything that is from his knees, when you look at the knees of the hitter, anything from the catcher's knees, they're about the same height. As I say, pretty much to the mask, the top of the mask, which would be about the belt, the belly button in that area there. Usually they're going to get those type of calls. There's a first pitch fastball that misses down, and the count is quickly 1-0 to Sano. Only 37 pitches for the rookie right-hander here through his 3 innings of work, as he delivers a fastball that misses inside, and the count goes to 2-0. So those are kind of the keys that you look for when you're looking at the balls and the strikes. As the pitch is on the way, there's a fastball swung on. This ball is belted into deep right field. This ball could be trouble if it stays fair, and this ball is going to be gone. A home run for Sano, his 3rd of the season, as that ball was absolutely destroyed. We're waiting on this right-hander to give up his first gopher ball, and that made it no doubt. Sano turned on that one. Home run number 3 on the year for the left fielder of the BayStars, and they have now taken themselves a 2-1 lead. I also kind of wonder how many times this right-hander will be able to get through the batting order, as it is the 2nd RBI of the night recorded by Sano. Gracie Lynn says she's probably going to tap out after this half inning, as they'll be pretty more. Well, you know what happens after that? That's usually when all heck breaks loose, when Gracie Lynn leaves. As there is a fastball taken for a called strike, and it counts 1-1 to Shugo Maki. Maki 1 for 1 tonight. He has a single in his only trip. As the right-hander kicks and delivers again, there's a fastball that misses outside, and the count goes to 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Right-hander ready to go again, kicks and delivers. There's a fastball swung on. It is lifted into right field. Not deep enough. Camping out underneath it is the right fielder, Sawai, and he's there to make the catch, and Mackey's going to be retired for the first out of the inning. So 1 gone, and that'll bring up the catcher in Cheyenne Matsuo. Just some programming notes for the week. We will probably do a major league game on Monday. And then it is interleague play starting in the Japanese league over the next 3 weeks. And we're not going to be able to get to every game We're trying to do maybe about 10 of the 18 games. That means some midweek games in the middle of the night. As that breaking ball is taken for a called strike, and the count is 0-1 to Matsuo. There's another fastball swung, and this ball is hammered foul down the left field line. The count now goes to 0-2. Certainly, some of the nights that we normally would call North American time, Friday and Saturday, the Friday game is going to be out. Probably the Saturday game will be out too. We have some conflicts. And there'll be some more stuff the following week that we'll be able to get onto the air. So hopefully you guys can pop in, look for our games that we schedule up, as there's a fastball lifted foul over on the first base side of home plate. Count remains at 0-2. All Real says when Sano's his favorite player, he hits a home run on cue, you should increase your number of favorite players. There's a fastball swung on and fouled away, and the count remains at 0-2 to Matsuo. BayStars have taken a 2-1 lead here in the bottom of the fourth inning. The home run by Sano has given them the advantage here. As the right-hander kicks and delivers, there's a slow fastball that misses outside. Count goes to 1-2. Ball and 2 strikes. All Real says he's going to have to get his jersey now. I have to say, one of the things is that fastball misses down. When I was in Yokohama, the quality of the Tigers jerseys that were sold in Osaka or at the Koshin Stadium, I thought were really quality. I was actually disappointed with the quality of the jerseys that were being sold by Yokohama. Here's the pitch. It is a fastball swung on. This ball is lifted into left field, shallow left field over towards the foul line. And now backing up to make the catch is Uchiyama, and that is going to retire Matsuo for the second out. And I'll even say this, I'll take it one step further. When you look at the jerseys that the Swallows are wearing, it looks like it's some sort of B-grade soccer jersey. The numbers are screened on. The letters are screened on. The BayStars, I would say the same, whereas the Tigers, they use the stitching for the last name, stitching for everything. It's just the overall quality so much better. Fastball swung on and missed. Count is 0-1. And even though I was maligning the Carp about their red-on-red jerseys the other day with the red numbers and the red jerseys, the quality of their jerseys are just that much better than anything else. Breaking ball misses outside, and the count goes to 1-1. And that's my opinion on those two. The Giants also have a quality jersey. That's the 1-1 on the way. There's a fastball swung on it, is pop foul into the seats over on the third base side. Count is 1-2 on Memori, but the Giants' prices of their jerseys were, you have to sell a couple of your future children to be able to afford them. Certainly out of the price range of those other teams. Here's the 1-2. Fastball swung on, lifted into center field. Moving over to his right, now backing up underneath it is the center fielder Iwata. He's there to make the catch, and that is going to do it as Memori is going to be retired for the third out of the inning. Well, they got a run in the inning, did the BayStars, as they've now taken the lead on the homer by Sano. 1 run, 1 hit, no errors, and nobody left aboard. We're moving to the fifth inning. It is the BayStars 2 and the Swallows 1. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a couple moments. Our friend Gracie Lynn is definitely in here with us tonight. She might be tapping out, but we'll give you this before you leave, as this was one of your tunes from yesterday. You are listening to live NPB commentary with Last Raps Baseball. Be sure to check out our podcast, The Japan Baseball Report, either on YouTube or wherever you get your podcasts. Be sure to join our Facebook group as well. It is NPB Japan Baseball Report. Stay up to date with all the other followers who are a fan of the Japanese game. Welcome back, everybody. We are moving to the top of the fifth inning. It is going to be Yoshihiro Akahane, Yuhei Nakamura, and Yukihiro Iwata to come to bat here to face Trevor Bauer in inning number 5. Bauer had to work a little bit to get that 1-2-3 inning in the last half. His pitch count is now at 59 through 4. As the right-hander kicks and delivers, there's a breaking ball that misses up and in, and the count is 1-0 to Akahane. Akahane flew out to right field his first time tonight. Gracie Lynn said the red numbers on the red jersey sound like a test for the broadcaster, as that breaking ball is taken for a called strike, and the count is 1-1. Yeah, well, I saw that when I was in Hiroshima a couple of years ago. I thought it was a bit of a farce. I thought maybe they would do it for, 1 year, or they would do it for a temporary piece, but this is like the third year that they're doing it in a row. It's absolutely terrible. There's a breaking ball swung on. It's lifted into center field, and it's going to bloop down for a base hit, as Akahane is going to be aboard with a leadoff single here to start the fifth. That'll bring up the catcher in Yuhei Nakamura. Well, Akahane can steal a little bit. He's got 3 stolen bases on the year, but definitely Nakamura is a double play candidate. Doesn't run particularly well. The veteran catcher, one-time national team catcher as well. So Nakamura strides in 0 for 1 tonight. He grounded to the shortstop his first time up, as the right-hander Bauer flicks it over to first, and diving back in time is the runner Akahane. I would say you got to keep an eye on him here. The 34-year-old catcher of the Swallows runs like he's been catching for the last 10 or 11 years. Does not have the same wheels that he may have had as a younger man. There's a breaking ball taken for a called strike. The count is quickly 0-1 to Nakamura. So no balls, 1 strike. 2-1 BayStars with the lead here in the top of the fifth inning. The difference in the ball game, the home run by Sano. Yeah, Gracie Lynn said possibly doing the game. The game I would probably be doing on Monday would be the game with the Giants and the Padres. So that's the one I'm eyeballing. I'll take a look at other pitching matchups, but that's the one I'm leaning toward. So it would be 6:45 Pacific, or 9:45 if you're on the West Coast, or 9:45 if you're on the East Coast, 6:45 Pacific. Unless it's a pitching matchup that I don't want to watch, then maybe we'll make a change. But that's the one I'm leaning toward at the moment. NCAA tournament games, I'm sure there'd be a lot of people, and I'm sure there'd be a lot of people in the chat. That is for certain. Live from Omaha, here comes the 1-1. There's a breaking ball swung on. It is chopped over down the third baseline, but the only play is going to be to first. Nice play by Mamori to have to come and get it. Even better play by Austin to pick it. And that's going to retire Nakamura. That's going to go as a ground out 5-3, but it is going to advance Akahane into scoring position. So Nakamura gone for the first out of the inning, and that is going to bring Yukihiro Iwata to the plate. Gracie Lynn says 8:45 if you're on the Gulf Coast. Yeah, I guess it would be. So a little earlier so you could get to sleep earlier. That's our plan anyways, so we'll have to see how that is. So we've got 1 gone here in the inning, as Akahane is now at second base. Bauer checks the runner. And the first pitch to Iwata is a split finger pitch swung on and fouled away. Count is quickly 0-1. Well, it looks like it's going to be the end of the night for the pitcher, one would have to think, or potentially the end of the night. Tetsuda Yamada has come on deck. So if there is a chance to drive home a run here, I wonder if Yamada would be turned to. Gracie Lynn said, I bet the chat would be quite busy. I don't know how many people would stay for the NPB. Probably wouldn't know what the NPB would be, as the 1 pitch is on the way. There's a breaking ball swung on his chop softly up the middle. Fielded on the run by Mori. He throws to first, and that is going to retire Iwata. It's going to go as a ground out 6-3 for the second out of the inning. And that looks like it is going to be the end of the debut for Shimokawa. His day is done, as there will be a pinch hitter, and that is going to be Tetsuda Yamada, one of the more dangerous players. He didn't get the start tonight, did Yamada, but He is definitely one of the better players, although he's only hitting 199 on the season, 3 homers and 11 RBIs. Yamada is the captain of the Swallows. So we will have a new pitcher to start the bottom half of inning number 5. Sounds good, Gracie Lynn. We look forward to catching up with you on Monday, as we will be taking attendance, and hopefully you'll be there. We'll post our schedule at some point, either tomorrow or Monday, and who knows, maybe we even do the Yankees-Dodgers tomorrow night, although the way that series is gone, I don't know if I really want to look in on that one tomorrow night. There's a first pitch breaking ball taken for a called strike. Count is 0-1 to Yamada. Swallows fans have not had to get their umbrellas up tonight other than in the first inning. For those of you who aren't sure what I'm talking about, you'll see in between innings the umbrella dance is what they like to do. Fastball swung on, chopped softly over to third. They're going to have to hurry to get Yamada, and it's not going to be in time. He's going to be able to beat it out. It's going to bring in Akahani with the tying run. It's going to be an RBI infield single for Yamada. That ball was chopped right into the ground. Mamori was playing deep, and he had to come in. They're going to go and challenge it, but I think it's a bit of a waste of time. We're going to get a look at the replay ourselves here. It's worth the challenge anyway, but at least just to give a little bit of composure. But no, they're not going to win that challenge. It's going to be a quick decision. So a run scored here by Akahani. It'll bring the top of the order in Kitamura up. And we'll get to lean back here a little bit because Gracie Lynn's leaving, and that means that all heck is going to break loose in the next couple innings. So we got to put our feet up and relax here, but that looks like a run has crossed the board. And so it is crossed the board. It is a pretty quick decision. Kitamura takes a breaking ball for a called strike. Count is 0-1. That's kind of like a team that's down 10-1 in the 9th inning, and they decide to go to the video-assisted replay to see if there is a safer out call at first. There's a breaking ball that misses down, and the count goes to 1-1. Or like an NBA basketball team down by 30 calling a timeout with 30 seconds left to run a play. Unless you got to play for 30 points in the arsenal, it's probably not going to work. Here comes the 1-1 pitch as Bauer holds set. Now he kicks and delivers slide step. It's a fastball that misses outside at 95, and the count goes to 2-1 on Kitamura. So 2 balls and a strike. Right-handed hitting shortstop of the Swallows, 1 for 2 tonight. Had the leadoff home run to begin the ball game and struck out his last time up. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Breaking ball catches the inside corner. Kitamura didn't like the call. 2 balls and 2 strikes. I've seen some ugly calls, but that certainly wasn't one of them. That pitch there looked like it was fairly decent there by Bauer. If he had a wipeout slider, that would be something to deliver here. As Kitamura waggling the bat, waiting here on the offering from the right-hander. The 2-2 on the way. Kicks and delivers. Breaking ball swung on, hammered. And that ball is going to be hooked foul down the left field line. So whatever pitch that was, don't throw it again, Trevor. As the batter was not fooled by that one. So 2-2 it remains. Kitamura has the home run that opened the scoring, strikeout. And as we said for Trevor Bauer tonight, I would say he probably doesn't have his best stuff. He's only got 3 strikeouts so far here. As the pitch is on the way, there's a fastball swung on and missed. And as we say that, cue up another one. And that would be, by our count tonight, strikeout number 4 in the books. And that is going to do it here for the Swallows in their half of inning number 3. They do get a run to tie it back up. 1 run on 2 hits. There was no errors and 1 runner left aboard. We are now moving to the bottom half of the 5th inning. Half of the game is in the books. Your score is the BayStars 2 and the Swallows 2. Stick around. We'll be back in just a couple of moments with all the action. Glad you're with us tonight on the Last Rouse Baseball YouTube channel. Welcome back, everybody. We do have a pitching change as the Swallows are going to their bullpen, and we'll get a confirmation on that here in just a moment. As Yokohama, or sorry, I should say the Swallows are going to a right-hander. It is going to be number 17, and we'll get that one for you here in just a moment. Looks like it is going to be Noboru Shimizu. So we'll have to confirm that for you and get a little bit of information on that. As the Swallows here will be going to their pen. Our bottom of the fifth inning, our friend, the real Mozizita, I'm not sure how you say that, Mozizita or Mozista. Our ticker goes across the bottom of the screen, so you can pick it up there as you move along. Here comes the first pitch to the left-handed hitting Watari, and he takes a fastball in the inside corner for called strike. Count is 0-1. So Swallows already into their overtaxed bullpen. Mozista, I think that sounds better. There it is. Fastball swung on, grounded right back to the pitcher. Plays a little basketball with it, and now he throws to first. That's going to retire Watari on a ground out, 1-3 for the first out of the inning. So 1 up and 1 away. And that will bring up the shortstop in Kaito Mori. So Noboru Shimizu is the pitcher. I guess that's how we would say it. So Noboru on in relief. So Shimizu gets the first out. The first pitch on the way is a breaking ball swung on and fouled away. Count is quickly 0-1 to Kaito Mori. Mori 0 for 1 today as he's flown out to center field. Our friend Eloy Perez in the house. He's bringing the Mexican love with him. Thanks for coming in here, Eloy. Thank you for being here tonight. You got Trevor Bauer on the hill here. Not right now at the moment, as Shimizu delivers a split finger pitch that swung on. It is hit into deep right center field. Moving over underneath it with plenty of room is the right fielder Sawai, and he's there to make the catch. And Mori is going to be gone for the second out of the inning. So far, Shimizu has hardly broken a sweat, as there is 2 up and 2 away here on 4 pitches. That's going to bring Trevor Bauer to the plate. Bauer tonight 0 for 1. He popped to first his first time up. 1 for 19 now on the season, as the first pitch is a fastball that he swings at and lifts that one foul down the right field line, and the count is 0-1. These are the kind of pitchers that you want to swing at if you're Bauer, because neither one, certainly the starter and this one here, not exactly the most overpowering pitchers. There's a breaking ball that drops in for a called strike. It buckles the knees of the American pitcher. Harrison said he fell asleep. We were putting him to sleep there. As the 0-2 is on the way, there is a fastball that misses down, and the count goes to 1-2 on Bauer. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. And the right-hander holding to the set position. As the pitch is a breaking ball that misses down, and the count goes to 2-2. Yeah, the real Mozista says we're a little bit ahead. There's a fastball. It's taken for a called third strike, and that is going to do it. That is going to end it here in the 5th inning. We were talking about this earlier. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left to board, and it is going to go to the top of the 6th inning, all locked at 2s. Yeah, a lot of people, what they do is they sync up the stream with this. There's a little bit of a delay between our service, our third-party service that we use, but also, too, there's a delay between the video and being at the game. And I know in Chiba, it's about 15 seconds. We were talking about that earlier tonight. So sometimes there are some folks who will be a little bit ahead, depending upon where you're at. It could be anywhere from 7 to 15 seconds. We're just going to put the music on loop here a little bit. We're going to take ourselves a little time out. And it is 2-2 as we move to the 6th. We like to call this the Japanese halftime. I'll tell you a bit story about this one when we come back. Great to have you guys listening with us here tonight. We'll be right back in about 3 minutes' time, as the break is not as long as it normally is in the Pacific League. Hang tight, everybody. Score is 2-2. We're moving to the top of the sixth inning. We'll be right back after this timeout. Your score is, as we said, 2-2. Swallows had tied it up in the top of the fifth inning, and we are going to be back in just a bit. Trevor Bauer on the hill for the BayStars as we go to the sixth.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Namaste. Hey, I hope you guys have been enjoying the game. My name is Hollis. I've got a YouTube channel called Another Hollis Build. I love baseball cards. I open up brand new product for you guys. I open up old stuff. I do breaks. I do auctions. All kinds of stuff concerning baseball. I'm Friars faithful, Padres to the end. I also love Garbage Pail Kids and my animals. I have a ton of animals. It's like a mini petting zoo here around my house. I also love my city. San Diego, baby. I'll take you all around the city and show you what's up. If you guys dig stuff like that, cruise on over and check it out. It's Another Hollis Build. If you dig it, subscribe. I'd really appreciate to have more follow me along on the journey. Hey, either way, you guys have a wonderful day or a beautiful, beautiful evening. No matter which one it is, make sure that you make it great, my friends. Big up Last Raps Baseball. Yeah, Freddie, let's go. One love and peace. Yeah, man.
Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be coming to bat here. It'll be Mori, Uchiyama, and Osuna. We already missed Mori as he has already been retired. The first pitch delivered to Uchiyama is taken for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. A little late in the saddle here, so we apologize for that. Bauer here ready to go. I'll talk a little bit about the extended breaks in between the fifth and the sixth inning. As that ball is popped up over on the left side of the infield, underneath it is the third baseman, Mamori, as he is battling the wind, and he had to call the catcher show me off, and that is going to be a pop-up to the third baseman for the second out of the inning. So 2 up and 2 away, and that's going to leave it up to the first baseman, Jose Osuna. In the Pacific League, it is pretty much a standard 5-minute break in between innings. In fact, they even do fireworks shows sometimes. In Chiba, they also do it actually with the home of the Swallows as well. Yeah, between the fifth and sixth innings, they do their fireworks. As the first pitch coming to Osuna from Bauer is a center cut fastball for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. What I find interesting about that is I heard Eduardo Perez tell a story the other day, and he had played overseas for a bit. And I often heard about these, what we like to call the Japanese halftime or the Asian halftime. And the reason for that is that the players like to smoke. They like to smoke a lot. At least back in the day. I don't know so much about today, as there's a breaking ball that misses down and the count goes to 1-1. But they said the umpires would be smoking, the players would be smoking, everybody would be down the tunnels and everywhere else. I know certainly that is some of the Korean players that come to the big leagues, they smoke a lot, as there's a fastball taken for a called strike and the count's 1-2 to Osuna. But I don't know if that is still the case in Japan. Certainly, when you're in Japan and you walk down the street, they have smoking areas. They don't like you to walk and smoke. And you'll have like these smoking sections on the street behind booths, as there's a breaking ball that misses down and the count goes to 2-2. The Real Mozista says that he used to do fireworks shows in Fukuoka when he was there. Yeah, some of them do it after the game, but I found that the Japanese will do it in the middle of the game. Fastball swung on, lifted into deep center field, racing back and making the catch on the warning track is the center fielder Kuwahara. And that is going to do it, as Osuna has been retired for the third out of the inning. And the Swallows go in order here in the sixth. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left the board. We're moving to the bottom of the sixth inning. Your score is the BayStars 2, the Swallows 2. Stay with us, everybody. We'll be back in just a couple moments with all the action right after this little timeout. We got a score line at 2-2 as we're cruising to the bottom of the sixth inning. We'll be back in just a little bit. And it is Trevor Bauer on the hill, as he is going to be going more than likely in for the 7th inning when he comes back. But we'll take a moment here and run our little tunes for the BayStars. The reliever Shimizu is coming back out to work his 3rd inning here, or his 2nd inning here, sorry. It is going to be he only had 9 pitches in his 1st inning of work as he came in to replace the rookie right-hander Shimokawa. Our friend the real Mozita said it's really only in densely populated areas. The non-dense populated areas, there's a bit more acceptance to that as the first pitch breaking ball is delivered to Kuwahara for a called strike. Kuwahara, Austin, and Sano to come to bat here in the 6th inning to face the right-hander as he holds himself set at the belt. And now he kicks and delivers. There's a breaking ball swung on. It is grounded over to short, fielded in the 6th hole. Firing across the diamond into dirt is Kitamura, and it's going to get away from Osuna. And reaching safely at first is Kuwahara. We're going to wait to see how they're going to score that. I personally think I'd probably give him a base hit. I don't know if they would have made that play or not. Very difficult play for the shortstop going backhand into the 6th hole. Fired across the diamond on the hop. Osuna not able to pick it, but no damage done there. We'll get a look at the replay. As that ground ball was over there, we'll watch it again here. Would they have had a chance to get him? Yeah, I think they would have. They might rule out an error on the shortstop. A friend of the real Mozita said, did Bauer spend time? Yeah, he spent the entire 2024 season in Mexico. So if you would have saw Bauer, it would probably have been the 2023 season in Yokohama. So we'll have to wait for the ruling on that. This brings Tyler Austin to the plate. Austin tonight 0 for 2. He swings at the first pitch and he lifts it into deep center field. Going back and still going back on it. And now up near against the wall and making the leaping catch is Iwata. And that is going to send the runner Kuwahara all the way back to first. And that is going to retire Austin for the first out of the inning. So Bradley says, does anybody know Bauer's pitch count? Trevor Bauer was at 76 pitches through 5. And I believe he threw 9 pitches in that. I think he's at 85, but we'll get a double check on that when he comes back out. I would think he's got the 7th and maybe even the 8th in him tonight, but we'll have to wait and see. And he's not due up for another 7 batters here. So I would think at least 1 more inning on the mound, and if not 2, depending upon how the BayStars perform at the plate as they throw over to first base, and diving back in time is Kuwahara. We are in the last half of the 6th inning here with the game locked at 2s. As the pitch is on the way, there's a breaking ball that misses outside, and the count now goes to 1-0 on Sano. Sano has driven in both the BayStar runs tonight. He had a sacrifice fly in the 1st, and he homered in the 4th. Officially 1 for 1 on the scorecard here. He waggles the bat as we're waiting here. As the pitch is on the way, there's a fastball swung on at his chops softly over to 3rd. Fielded on the run by Moji. He fires to 1st, and Sano's going to be retired. It is going to advance the runner Kuwahara into scoring position at 2nd. So 2 gone here in the inning, and it's going to bring up the hitting machine in Shugo Maki. Real Mozita says, got a chance to see a Japanese World Series game, the Japanese series last year in Fukuoka. Heck of an experience. He's been to 3 each of MLB and Japanese games, prefer the Japanese games overall. Yeah, just the atmosphere of the games is just so much different. I remember going to Major League Baseball games as a kid in both Toronto, Detroit specifically, and seeing a lot of games there. And the atmosphere was completely different. You go back 30 years ago and Fans were in the stands. They'd be clapping and cheering. And now everything is electronic scoreboard. Everybody's got to be prodded to cheer and to do things. And there's always got to be action every single minute. Whereas in Japan, the crowd is the entertainment. And so is the game. So this brings Maki to the plate. Maki batting from the right side here against the right-hander Shimizu. As the pitch is on the way, it's a fastball at the knees, taken for a called strike. The count is 0-1. Shimizu has retired 5 batters, allowed to hit, or at least a runner to reach base, and he's only at 15 pitches. Real Mozita says he'd been to Japan multiple times. So here comes the 0-1 pitch. As the right-hander holds to the set, now delivers. Fastball misses upstairs, and the count goes even to 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Bradley did a follow-up question, said, how many pitchers did they let the pitchers throw in the NPB? Sometimes they'll throw till their arm falls off. We've seen starting pitchers like Soshi Togo go upwards of 140 pitches in a regular season game. Tetsuya Mai would be the same, as that is a split finger pitch swung on and missed, and the count is 1-2 to Maki. That split finger pitch floated in there. It looked like a change piece in a lot of ways. So 1 ball and 2 strikes to the right-handed hitting second baseman of the BayStars. Real Mazita says he lived there for 4 years. Expected to hate it, but loved it in the end. Yeah, it's a great experience. If you ever get a chance to get to the land of the rising sun, can't say enough about it. Fastball misses outside, and the count goes to 2-2. I was going to go back again this year, but the problem is I didn't realize when I was looking at hotels earlier that the World Expo is being held, I think it was from April till October in Osaka. And some of the prices in Osaka were absolutely through the roof. So I pivoted. We'll be in Taiwan this year at the end of August. Looking forward to that. Here's the pitch. There's a split finger pitch that misses down. They appeal to the first base umpire, but they say that Maki didn't go. Runs the count to 3-2. So looking forward to heading to Taiwan for a couple of weeks in August. Originally, the plan actually was to go to Korea and then take the ferry from Busan to Fukuoka. I thought that would have been kind of cool. Be able to go and catch the ball game in Fukuoka. Of course, as the 3-2 is on the way, there's a fastball swung on and grounded foul over on the third base side, and that keeps the count at 3-2. I was looking at it today. I was telling somebody earlier, I think it was Tim who is been in and out of the stream tonight, all rails. I was telling him that I've got to 8 of the 13 stadiums in the NPB. I'm missing 5. Fukuoka being 1, the 2 in the Northeast, the Koshin, and the 1 in Nagoya. As the 3-2 pitch ready to come here to Maki, as Shimizu works himself to the belt. He checks the runner at second. And now he kicks and fires. There's a breaking ball swung on. This ball is popped up over in the foul territory on the third base side. Over underneath it is Moji, and he's there to make the catch, and that is going to do it. And that's going to do it for the BayStars here in their half of the 6th inning. They had no runs in the inning. We got to get a confirmation if that was a hit or an error. Now, we know there was 1 runner left aboard. We are now through 6 complete. Your score is the BayStars 2 and the Swallows 2. Stay with us, everybody. We'll be back in just a few with all the action. Top of the 7th is just around the corner. We'll be right back after this. Welcome back, everybody. Our friend Tyler popping in. Great to see you there, Tyler, a man from Indianapolis, Indiana, and he's talking basketball. There's a fastball swung on it, is grounded over to first, fielded neatly by Austin. He flips it to Bauer, covering. And with one pitch, there is one away on a ground out, 3-1 for the first out of the inning. It's going to bring up the second baseman in Yoshihiro Akahane. It's a good time to be a basketball fan in Indiana. They got something to cheer about. They're going to be taking on probably the best team in basketball, which is OKC. But that is a lot of good stuff, and I'm glad you guys can be enjoying that there, Tyler, as well as your Indianapolis Indians. Well, brings Akahane to the plate. He's 1 for 2 today. He's raised his season average up to 220 as the right-hander Bauer delivers a fastball taken at the knees for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. Our friend earlier on, Bradley, if he's still with us, asked the question, if there was a situation where with how many pitches he's at, Bauer's now at 86 with that breaking ball missing down, and the count goes to 1-1. So I'd say he's got a lot of life left in him. I would think that if he can get through this inning here, he'll probably get a shot at the next inning. But that also depends on if he has to come to bat or not. If he does come to bat, and if there's the BayStars have ducks on the pond, they may pinch hit for him. Fastball misses upstairs. Count is now 2-1. Rio Mozita says, word to the wise, look for the places called hostels. Yeah, the problem is even with the hostels, the prices have gone absolutely bananas. As I said, the World Expo going on. I'll give you an example of that. There's a fastball taken for a called strike. The count is 2-2. I stayed at a place in Osaka called it was a Best Western. This is going back 2 years ago, and it was a Best Western hotel. I don't usually stay in American hotels per se, but it was about $57 a night. Ground ball up the middle, fielded by Mackey on the backhand. Throws to first. That's going to retire Akahane on a ground out 4-3. He's in the books for out number 2, and that's going to bring up the catcher in Yuhei Nakamura. Anyways, the reason I mentioned that to you is that what had ended up happening is the hotel that I stayed at, as I said, it was about $60 a night, Best Western Premier Plus. And unbelievable price at $60 a night for a hotel. There's a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count is 0-1, and that's $60. Actually, it was probably about $50 US if I put it in US currency. As the 0-1 is on the way. There's a breaking ball waved at and missed. Now the count goes to 0-2 on Nakamura. And so for, I think it was 11 nights, it was something like about $670 in around that range for 11 nights. This year, the same time frame, the same hotel for the same length of nights would have set back in the neighborhood of about $5,000. It was absolutely crazy. Fastball is lifted into deep right center field. Moving back underneath it is Watari. He's there to make the catch, and Bauer hardly breaks a sweat in this inning as they go 1-2-3 to the Swallows. There was no runs, no hits, no errors. Nobody left the board. We're moving now to the bottom of the 7th inning. Your score is Yokohama 2, Yakult Swallows 2. We'll be back in just a couple moments. We'll try to catch up with the chat, and we'll try to jump back here in just a couple minutes after this. We'll be right back. It is BayStars and Swallows at 2s. Welcome back, everybody. We are going to be cruising ourselves to the bottom of the 7th inning, and it is going to be Matsuo, Momori, and Watari to come to bat. We'll be back in just a moment after we give you this little bit of entertainment, as it is in between innings here, and we will be back in just a bit. Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be Matsuo, Momori, and Watari to come to bat here for the BayStars in the bottom half of inning number 7. As the right-hander now on rear relief is Takuya Yazaki. The first pitch is a fastball that's taken for ball 1 to count as 1-0 to Matsuo. Our friend the Real Mozita has some good information in there. You're absolutely right. I have been to Korea, and you're not just that, but Google Maps is not exactly the best there either. Fastball swung on and fouled away. The count goes to 1-1. So, yeah, you got to have a good data plan. So I've been to Korea, and it's a little bit, I would say sketchy, but a little bit more of a challenge to have to get around. There's a 1-1 pitch. There's a breaking ball swung on. It's grounded softly over to third. Moji fields it on the run, takes it on the short hop, and fires to first. And with that, there is 1 away here in the bottom of the 7th. Ground out 5-3 for the first out. That'll bring up the third baseman in Masaki Momori. Another thing that our friend, the Real Mozita, says is his experience: set your VPN or location to Japan, and you'll get a 30% or more discount than if you have it set overseas. And that is also word to the wise. I haven't experienced a lot of that, but I have experienced that a little bit. Without a doubt, you sometimes will get cheaper hotel experiences because of that. There's a fastball swung on it, has popped up on the infield. Moving over underneath it and calling everybody off is the second baseman, Akahani, and that's going to retire Momori. So 2 quick outs here in the 7th inning, and that's going to leave it all up to the right fielder, Ryuki Watari. Brenton says with full confidence that the BayStars are winning this. Well, not right now. It's 2-2, but the confidence would have to be with Trevor Bauer on the mound, as Bauer is been pretty decent here tonight. Just the mistake to start the ball game with the home run and the bang play that couldn't get the third out of the inning have allowed 2 different runs to score. There's a first pitch fastball that is missing down and away to Watari. Watari 0 for 2 tonight. He's lined to first and grounded to the pitcher. Batting from the left side here against the right-handed throwing Yazaki as he kicks and fires. There's a fastball swung on and lifted foul down the left field line, and the count goes to 1-1. The Real Mazita says he hates how Bauer's been blackballed from the MLB. Yeah, not like there's 29 teams that couldn't use him. Probably the only team that couldn't use him is a team playing in Los Angeles known as the Dodgers. But I'm sure they would even take him back if they, under the right circumstances. There's a 2-seam fastball taken for a called strike. The count goes to 1-2 on Watari. It is unfortunate in some capacities, but in the court of public opinion, he is guilty, and he is serving his time overseas, much like Roberto Osuna, who was with Fukuoka. There's the 1-2 pitch. Fastball swung on, grounded over to second, fielded by Akahani. He throws to first, and that's going to retire Watari on a ground out, 4-3 to end the inning. And as I expect, Bauer will be coming out for the 8th. Whether he comes out for the 9th, there'll be another question because he is in the 80s of pitches. But one would expect that he comes out for inning number 8 here. We are now through 7 complete. Your score is the BayStars 2 and the Swallows 2. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left the board. We'll be back in just a little bit after this. It is the top of the 8th, just around the corner on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel. Stay with us, everybody. It is Japanese baseball when we return. Welcome back, everybody. We're moving to the top of the 8th inning, and slated to come to bat would be the 8, 9, and 1 hitters. Means Iwata, the pitcher's spot, and the top of the order in Kitamura. 92 pitches for the American right-hander through his 7 innings of work. As Bauer will be ready to go here again, and the first pitch on the way is a fastball that just misses outside to Iwata, and the count is 1-0. Iwata is 1 for 2 today. He's got a single in 2 trips. He's raised his season average to 248 as Bauer delivers a breaking ball that misses down, and the count goes to 2-0. Real Mazita says, is the MLB doesn't want to admit that they're wrong? Well, I think there's a couple of things. I think number one is the personal attacks that Bauer had launched against the commissioner, Rob Manfred. There's a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count now goes to 2-1 on Iwata. So I think that would be something that would be, it's become personal between Bauer and the commissioner, as there is a fastball swung on. This ball is going to be lined into left field. It's going to get down for a base hit. Over to field it is Sano, and he gets it back in as Iwata is going to be aboard with a leadoff single. It's going to bring up the pitcher's spot in the batting order. And we'll see what the Swallows have in mind here. One would expect they're going to go to the bench again, but who are they going to bring off the bench? But it does also look like that's not, I thought we might have had a pinch runner, but it is still Iwata. The pinch hitter is going to be number 67. This is going to be Rui Ito. So Rui Ito coming in to pinch hit. Ito on the season is 3 for 15, so he's batting an even 200. And he is coming in to bunt as they throw over to first base, and diving back in time is the runner. So Rui Ito here to pinch hit. And you know that he's not going to be swinging. He's going to be dinking and dunking here. With the runner Iwata on it first. Again, they throw over to first, and again, diving back is Iwata. So back to the question that the real Mozita asked, wanted to know is, the MLB doesn't want to admit they're wrong. The personal attacks that Bauer had launched against Manfred, and then Manfred probably went to all 30 owners and said, hey, don't sign this guy. I mean, it's collusion at its finest. I say that in full speculation. I don't know if that's the case, but one would have to wonder. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure that would be the case. The other thing is Trevor Bauer is not a dumb guy. He's a pretty smart, intelligent guy in terms of the field of baseball, his pitching, his knowledge, his insights. And I think there are a lot of teams that don't know how to handle him, wouldn't know how to handle him, or marketplaces that wouldn't know how to handle him. Here's the pitch. It is bunted. It is popped up over on the first base side. Not a very good bunt. It was caught in foul territory by Tyler Austin. And that is going to retire Ito. He's going to be gone for the first out of the inning. That's a wasted at bat. That is going to bring up the top of the order in Takumi Kitamura. You bring in a pinch hitter with one job to do, get the bunt down. And he can't get the bunt down as he pops up into foul territory. Keller Messer says, where do you watch this game at? TBS, Tokyo Broadcasting System, is carrying the game tonight there, Keller. So here comes the first offering now from Bauer to the right-handed hitting shortstop Kitamura. It is a fastball swung on. It is grounded through the 6-hole into left field. And stopping at second will be Iwata. So a single, a pop-up, and a single here in the first 3 at-bats. That's got runners at first and second now with 1 gone, and it's going to bring Igoro Moji to the plate. Education in the house tonight. It's always good to have education here. We try to provide some education and information. Education comes in, doing the same. Says, do you think the Swallows can win? Well, it's a toss of the coin right now once they get into the BayStars bullpen. I mean, even the worst teams in professional baseball win a third of their games, right? So they are in a situation right now where with Moji coming to bat, they've got a chance here. So 98 pitches for the American right-hander as he's ready to face Moji. Moji 0 for 3 today against him, struck out twice and grounded to second. Breaking ball swung on, lifted into left field, moving over toward the foul line and catching it is Sano, and having to retreat back to second base is Iwata. So Moji's going to be gone for the second out of the inning. It's going to leave it up to the left fielder in Soma Uchiyama. So Brendan says that's going to be the case. Well, the other thing is, too, he was not found guilty in the court of law, whether you agree or whether you disagree with what he does. I think the other thing why some teams would shy away from him is because he would bring a lot of unnecessary attention to the club. I think the Colorado Rockies could use him for any attention based on how they're playing today. So Bauer at 99 pitches, ready to deliver here to Uchiyama. And the pitch on the way, it's a breaking ball delivered for a called strike, and the count is quickly 0-1. So pitch number 100 for Bauer is a strike. If he can get himself out of this pickle here, one would have to think that his day will be over, as Bauer is slated to come to bat second in the bottom half of this inning. Uchiyama waggling the bat, Bauer holding to the set, checks the runner at second, checks him again, and now he delivers. Breaking ball misses down and away, and the count goes to 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Here's a potential turning point in the ball game. Swallows have runners at first and second, 2 gone here. It's a 1-1 count to Uchiyama. The runner at second is Iwata, so he's got some speed to burn. Base hit here. They're going to challenge the arms of the outfielders. They are playing in shallow, so they can try to throw the batter out at the plate. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball, taken for a called strike. Oh, it buckled the knees of Uchiyama. That runs the count to 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. And, you know, when you look at what George Steinbrenner once said many years ago when he was still alive, he used to say any publicity was good publicity, whether it was bad or good, because it kept your team in the newspapers and in the media. Here's the 1-2. Fastball swung on and lifted foul down the right field line, and it keeps the count at 1-2. That, I believe, was the hardest pitch or the fastest pitch thrown tonight by Bauer. That one there dialed up to 97 miles an hour on the gun. I don't think he's hit that at all tonight. He's been 95, maybe 96 touching, but he reared back and put a little something extra on that one. So 1 ball and 2 strikes as Bauer again leans in and gets the sign. Nods in agreement with his catcher, Matsuo, and here comes the pitch. And it is a split finger pitch, misses down. Nice job there by Matsuo to block it and keep it in front. Runs the count even to 2-2. The real Mozita says, who do you think the best player in baseball is at the moment? Well, it's hard to argue when Shohei Ohtani is healthy, both as a pitcher and as a hitter. He is as good as anything right now. I might give the edge to Aaron Judge at the moment because he has to play in the outfield. He's hitting at an unbelievable pace, not just the home runs, but also for average. I mean, it's pretty much a toss-up between those two for sure. Here comes the 2-2 pitch as Bauer checks the runner. Now he kicks and fires. It's a breaking ball missing way outside. Now the count is going to be 3-2, and now the runners are going to be on the move here. So 3 balls and 2 strikes. A base hit here would probably score them, and you can see the outfielders are moving back a little bit because they know a single here, they're not going to be able to throw Iwata out at the plate, so they're staying a little bit deeper here. So 3 balls and 2 strikes as right-hander Bauer holds set. Here comes the pitch. Kicks and fires. Breaking ball swung on, tapped foul over on the third base side. Oh, Iwata was almost around third base by the time the ball reached the bag. Keeps the count at 3-2. Our friend the real Mozita says he would give it last couple of years maybe to Freddie Freeman, best hitter. possibly all around because he doesn't strike out as much as some of the others. Here comes the 3-2 pitch as Bauer holds set. Now he kicks and delivers. It's a breaking ball, misses outside. He doesn't like the call. Looked like he painted the corner. The catcher there held it. And so now we're going to get a visit from the pitching coach as the bases are going to be loaded. I think I might give an earful a little bit there to the home plate umpire. That's ball 4. And if I have to go and do my math here, it looks like that is the first walk issued all game long by Bauer. It's going to advance Iwata over to third. The runner at first, Kitamura, goes to second. And it's going to bring Jose Osuna to the plate. We'll get a look at that one there. He doesn't like the call, does Bauer? But that's the home cooking of the Japanese umpires. It's notorious that the international players are just not going to get the calls against Japanese players. And so that pitch there, 50-50 pitch, not going to go your way. You got to suck it up and deal with it. So Bauer now at 107 pitches. He's going to face Jose Osuna. Now, if that pitch was to Osuna, he probably gets that call. That's just the way it is. I think I like watching basketball in the NBA. The home team gets a lot of home cooking. So bases are full. Jose Osuna stepping in. Osuna 0 for 3 tonight. He's grounded to short, flown to left, and flown to center. So the Swallows right now have an opportunity as now he has asked for time and stepped out. He wasn't fully set yet as he's digging himself in. Now he resets here. Bauer ready to go back to work after that conference. I would say this is probably the last batter he's going to see for the night. As the right-hander delivers the first pitch, breaking ball taken for a called strike. A really slow hand from the home plate umpire. I don't know what he was waiting for on that. I guess that's the sell of the drama. So no balls and 1 strike. Maybe had to check the birth certificate of Osuna to make sure it was a strike. So no balls and 1 strike. Swallows fans are on their feet in Yokohama as the right-hander Bauer holds to the set. Here comes the pitch. There's a split finger pitch, misses down. That was a great stop there by the catcher Matsuo. Had to keep that ball in front. That ball goes to the backstop, and it's going to be a 3-2 Swallow lead. So he definitely earned his money there, did Matsuo tonight. So 1 ball and 1 strike to Jose Osuna. I was mentioning earlier that the import players or at least the import bats for the Swallows, Santana, who's getting the night off, and of course, Osuna have been pretty productive for the Swallows over the last few seasons. Here's the 1-1. Fastball swung on. Popped up into shallow right center field, moving over underneath it, and it almost colliding. The center fielder was wanting to call it. Bauer drops to a knee, and it is going to be the right fielder, and that will be Watari, who will haul it in for the 3rd out, but almost confusion in the outfield. Oh boy, that left a lot of people in Yokohama breathing deeply. But that is going to be it, and one would have to expect could be the end of the night for Bauer. There was no runs in the inning. There were 2 hits, no errors. 3 runners left the board. Swallows fans, I think that was your chance. It's going to be Mori, Bauer, and Kuwahara to come to bat. We'll see what happens when we return in just a bit. It is a 2-2 game as we move to the bottom of the 9th inning on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel. Stick around, everybody. We'll be right back after this.
Well, you've got to have an ace in the hole, a little secret that nobody knows. Life is a gamble, a game we all play, but you've got to save something for a rainy day. You've got to learn to play your cards right if you expect to win in life. Don't put it all on the line for just one roll. You've got to have an ace in the hole.
Welcome back, everybody. That is our friend Matt Hollis, another Hollis build. Be sure to go check him out after the game. He is got all kinds of interesting stuff on his channel, not just sports cards, Garbage Pail Kids, but he also has a bit of a farm at his place with his peacocks, his dogs, all the other stuff that keeps him a lot out of trouble, not to mention his chickens. Well, we'll get the bottom of the eighth going here with Kaito Mori coming to the plate. He is 0 for 2. He has flown to center and flown to right in this one, as he is going to be facing, or slated to face. We're going to see if they have made a change. Our friend Education says, should he cash out? Yeah, I'd have to start thinking that it might be time to consider that. It is better to walk away with something than nothing. And the first pitch on the way is a fastball that misses down. Count is 1-0 to Mori. We do have a pitching change on the mound here, as it is number 24, Tomoya Hoshi, who is on in relief for the Swallows. Fourth pitcher used by the Yakult Ball Club, as there is a breaking ball taken for a called strike. So Hoshi on in relief here, facing the left-handed hitting Mori, who is 0 for 2 in this one. He's flown, as we said, to center and right. There's a fastball swung on it, is grounded up the middle. Moving to his left is Kitamura. He fields it and throws to first. It's going to retire Mori on a ground out 6-3 for the first out of the inning. And as expected, that'll be the end of the night for Trevor Bauer, as we are going to have ourselves a pinch hitter here for Yokohama. It is going to be number 58 coming to the plate, and we'll get you that here in just a moment. And 58 is going to be Kuki Kajiwara. So he will be coming up to bat here. So Kuki Kajiwara on to pinch hit for the American Bauer, whose night is now done after 8 innings. And the first pitch is a split finger pitch. Swung on, it is lifted down the left field line, foul. It's going to reach the seats, and the count is 0-1. The Real Mozita asks, what do you think about Roki this year? Well, to be honest with you, he's on the injured list right now, and I thought that him coming over to North America was a little too soon. I said a lot in the streams last year. Fastball misses upstairs. He's got a plus fastball. He's got a plus splitter. But in North America, you better have a changeup, especially against the Latin hitters. If you don't have a good changeup, if you don't have command of the pitches, you're going to get yourself into some trouble, as the pitch is a fastball that misses just down, and the count goes to 2-1 on Kajiwara. So I guess, to be honest with you, I think that his game needs some refinement, and he could have used maybe another year or two in Chiba before he came across. That was just my opinion. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Fastball swung on, lifted into deep left center field. This ball could be trouble, and racing up, and it's going to be off the wall. Oh, really played well by the left fielder, and sliding into second with a double is going to be Kajiwara. Great play there by Uchiyama to play it off the wall. He took it off a one hop and made a great throw, but sliding into second base safely with a one-out double is Kajiwara. Oh boy, he sent that one a wall. It ended up about halfway up the wall. Really good play by the left fielder. And he guns it all the way into second base, but it is going to be a double for Kajiwara. That's going to bring up the top of the order, and Masayuki Kuwahara. I also think, too, I think it's going to come out. I'm going to speculate here. I don't want to make accusations, but I'm going to say that Roki Sasaki going to the Dodgers had a bit of an aroma to it. There was no posting fee. He was an international free agent because he was under the age of 25. All the rules that the Dodgers could bend to be able to get him, or at least to get him into that marketplace, I don't know if it was necessarily a fair shake. I know they did a bunch of teams interviewed and everything else, but I think it was a one-way ticket to LA. Fastball misses down, and the count is 1-0 to Kuwahara. Just had a bad look to it. That's all I'll say. They got their man, so to speak, and then all these deferred payments to whether it be Otane or Yamamoto or to Sasaki, that they don't have to pay these guys their contracts till how many years down the trail. I'm not sure I like that either. And that goes right back to the commissioner, Rob Manfred, who allows this to happen. There's a fastball that misses down, and the count goes to 2-0. So, and not just Manfred, but it's also the collective bargaining agreement that has been negotiated with the players and the union, or the players and the owners, that has allowed that to happen as well. So 2 balls and no strikes. As Kuwahara gets himself reset in the batter's box, ready to face Hoshi here again. BayStars looking to punch another run across here. With the runner in scoring position and 1 gone. Here's the 2-0. Breaking ball taken for a called strike, and the count now goes to 2-1. If you've just joined us, it's Swallows and BayStars locked up at 2 here in the bottom of the 8th inning. We're glad you guys could stumble in and make it in here with us. We'll give you the full rundown and recap after the ball game, but we can tell you that Trevor Bauer's night is done after 8 innings. Fastball swung on, grounded over to short. That's going to freeze the runner at second. Kuwahara is going to get gunned down. It's going to be a ground out 6-3 for the second out of the inning. That's going to leave it all up to the first baseman and Tyler Austin. Our friend, the real Mozita, asks who our favorite MLB team is. Well, for me, it was Detroit. Follow the Tigers still pretty religiously, but also follow the Mariners as it live out in the Northwest these days. As the pitching coach Ishii is on his way to the mound here, I wonder what they're going to say here. I wonder if they want to face Austin or if they want to put him on and set up a force, bring Sano to the plate. I'm not sure what the discussion would be about, or maybe it's how they want to pitch him. I think if I was facing Tyler Austin right now, I think I would be attacking him in a way that I would probably go where I wouldn't give him anything good to hit on the first couple of pitches. See, maybe you can do a swing or a poor swing or two, and then maybe go after him. Although if you can't get him to bite on a couple of the swings, then I'd just probably hold the 4 fingers up, put him on, and take my chances with Sano. Real Mozita says, a Mariners diehard fan, lived through a rough life. Yeah. If you watched the game today with the Mariners, or you saw the game today, it would probably give most Mariner fans a bit of cardiac arrest. Looked like they had the game won. They literally threw it away, only to win it in extra innings. There's a fastball that misses down, and the count is 1-0 to Tyler Austin. As we said, Austin 0 for 3 tonight. He's flown to right, flown to center, and popped to short. Or actually, a soft liner to short. Solid Sunday afternoon crowd in Yokohama for this one. BayStars supporters on their feet. As the right-hander again checks the runner at second. Here comes the pitch. Breaking ball misses down, and the count goes to 2-0 on Austin. So 2 balls and no strikes. BayStars with a chance here to push the go-ahead run across, as they've got Kojiwara at second base with 2 gone. Right-handed hitting, Austin waggling the bat. Here comes the 2-0 offering. Fastball misses down. It's 3-0. They might as well just put that 4th finger up and let him go. So Hoshi struggling here. As he gets himself a new baseball, he goes to the back of the mound to rub it up. And there you go. Finally, there is the free pass. They're going to intentionally walk Austin. That's going to set up a force at any base, and that'll bring up Sano to the plate. Well, if somebody's going to do some damage tonight, you'd have to think it would be Sano. Sano has driven in both of the BayStar runs tonight. He had a sacrifice fly in the first inning, bringing home Kuwahara. In the top of the fourth inning, he had a leadoff home run to give the BayStars at that time a 2-1 lead. So he has driven in both the runs here. And this looks like it is going to be the end of the night for Hoshi. There's going to be a pitching change as they're going to come out and get him. And we're going to take a little break. It is a 2-2 ball game as we are in the bottom of the eighth inning. Runners at first and second, 2 gone. And it'll be a pitching change, and we'll be back in just a couple moments after this. Our friend Steve Rademacher is going to keep you entertained. We'll be back after this.
Hey, where are you going? It's a pitching change. Come on, sit back down. You don't go out there. Don't go get no food or anything. You've got a big decision. Are you gonna throw in there Raleigh Fingers? Maybe Goose Gossage? How about maybe Mariano Rivera or Lee Smith, Dennis Eckersley? Who knows? It's a pitching change. Come on back. You know who I would pick for this? A nice, tall, cool one. There's my pitcher. That's my pitching change. That's a winning combination. Come see my channel. You know, every day is opening day. And according to Bob, I must be in the front row. Blah.
Welcome back, everybody. That is our good friend Steve Rademacher as he keeps us all entertained. There is a left-hander coming on here for the Swallows as it is going to be the fifth pitcher used. This is Kazuto Taguchi, the fifth pitcher used by them tonight, as he will be called to have to get out Sano. As we said, Sano 1 for 2 tonight, homer, and a sacrifice fly giving him both RBIs, so he's got a chance to do all the offense here tonight for the BayStars, as the left-hander Taguchi is just completing his tune-up tosses. So we'll see how this will all play out. If you have just joined us, the scoring tonight, the BayStars, or I should say the Swallows, began the game with a solo shot on the first pitch of the game off the bat of Kitamura, giving them 1-0 lead in the first. BayStars responded with one of their own on a sac fly off the bat of Sano, bringing home Kuwahara. In the fourth inning, Sano hit that home run to put the BayStars up 2-1, and the Swallows responded right back. The top of the fifth inning was an RBI single off the bat of pinch hitter Tetsuda Yamada that brought home Akahani, and that is where it sits. 2-2 here, bottom of the eighth. 2 on, 2 out for the BayStars as the left-handed hitting Sano steps into the box, and Taguchi gets his sign. Here we go. And the first pitch is a breaking ball, swung on and missed, and the count is quickly 0-1. And they throw down to second base, trying to backpick the runner. And getting back safely is Kajiwara. Got a little bit too far off the base for the liking of the veteran catcher Nakamura, and he tried to go back door. But getting back safely was the runner Kajiwara. Outfield in left and in right is very, very shallow. The center fielder is deep. And here's the 0-1 pitch. There's a fastball swung on. This ball is belted into right center field, giving chase, and it's going to get down for a base hit. That's going to get a run in. Cutting it off as the center fielder, and that is Iwata, and he fires it back in. It's going to be a double for Sano, his third RBI of the night. Stopping at third is Tyler Austin. Cashing in is Kajiwara, and the crowd in Yokohama that are wearing the BayStars fatigue are on their feet. The third RBI of the night here for Sano. And that is going to bring up the second baseman in Shugo Maki, and the danger is not done yet. They had an interesting defensive configuration there for Sano. They had both the corner outfielders were in. Center fielder was playing deep, and even though that ball, where it was hung up in the air and hit into right center field, just the way they had the center fielder Iwata positioned, he wasn't able to get over to make the catch. He did, however, do a good job of keeping it from getting to the wall, because if that ball gets to the wall, I'm pretty sure Austin would have scored all the way from first. So it is going to bring Shugo Maki to the plate here. We'll see if the Swallows are going to do something different, but I can tell you that the BayStars are going to pinch run for Sano. It's going to be Shibata is coming into the game to run at second base for Sano. He gets a large round of applause as he leaves the game. He left everything on the field here today. High fives from the teammates, and Sano doing everything he could. But that is going to be the end of the night here for the left-hander Taguchi. That didn't take long. As his night is over, they're going to the bullpen here, and we're going to take a moment of break. We'll come back right after this. It is 3-2 for the BayStars here in the bottom of inning number 8. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a bit after this. Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be the sixth pitcher to be used tonight by the Swallows. It is going to be Hiroki Onishi, who is coming on in relief. And he is just completing his warm-up tosses. Our friend Education came in. Well, I guess we got an Education tonight. You asked us earlier what I would do, and I said I'd probably tap out at that time, better than taking a little loss than a big loss. And also, too, the Swallows are literally one of the worst teams in all of the NPB. If not, they're definitely the worst in the Central League. And so playing against the BayStars, who are now getting healthy and rolling, there would have to be a huge difference to be able to get me on top of their game. That's what I would say in terms of wanting to put any type of nickels on them. And so that is just my 2 cents of the matter. So this is going to bring Shugo Maki to the plate, but everybody, when you put your money down on something, you got to put your money where your mouth is. And unfortunately, the players will be the ones who will decide where that ends up going. So 3-2, the BayStars now in front, as it is going to be Onishi who is on the hill here to face Shugo Maki. Runners at second and third with 2 gone, and the first pitch is on the way. It's a fastball that comes inside and hits Maki. Unbelievable. Shugo Maki is going to get drilled. He's going to make his way to first base. It's going to load the bases, and it also brings the umpires out. And Maki having a couple of words with the pitcher. Catcher is in between as he makes his way slowly down the line to first base. Maki definitely not a happy camper. The first base coach had come in there, Tanaka, had a little bit of words with the pitcher as well. I don't know if that's to diffuse the situation or whatever, but Shugo Maki taking a slow walk down to first base after being checked on by the trainer. Education says, I notice only favorites win in the KBO. Yeah, the KBO is definitely a league where there are the haves, the have-nots, and the not much in-betweens. There is a discrepancy between the teams that are really good and the ones not so much. So I know a lot of people that come in do prefer the KBO because it's an easier league, at least in some people's minds, to be able to make their predictions. First pitch fastball delivered to Cheyenne Matsuo, taken for a called strike. Counts 0-1. Matsuo 0 for 3 tonight. That would drive you crackers. You bring your reliever in, the first batter that comes to bat gets plunked. What are you going to do? Here goes the 0-1 pitch to Matsuo as Onishi kicks and delivers. There's a fastball swung on, grounded up the middle, fielded neatly by the shortstop Kitamura, who flips it to the second baseman covering. That's going to retire Mackey at second. Fielder's choice, 6-4. That's going to end the inning here. And that will do it here for the BayStars in inning number 8. Well, they had 1 run in the inning on the benefit of 2 hits. There was no errors, and there were 3 runners left aboard. We're moving to the top of the 9th inning. The Swallows are slated to have Sawai, Akahani, and Nakamura coming to bat. I don't see Babe Ruth, Aaron Judge, or Shohei Ohtani coming up. Do they have a chance? Sure they do. But I don't like their chances so much left in this one. We'll be right back in just a few.
Hello, this is Eric Fox, formerly of the Oakland A's and Texas Rangers baseball teams. If you want to learn about Japanese baseball, see Coach Fred of Last Raps Baseball. If you want baseball instruction, see Coach Fred. If you want to learn about golf, do not go to Coach Fred. Fred, what kind of club is this?
At Last Raps Baseball, we know baseball. Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be a pitching change. It is going to be Taisi Iri who is coming into the game to replace Trevor Bauer as he is looking to save this one here for the American right-hander. Bauer in line for the win. Iri trying to save it out as it is a 3-2 affair right now. Our friend, or the real Mazida, asked the question. He said, have you ever seen anyone purposely get drilled? If you go back 20 years ago in the NPB, there was a Wild West. There was a lot of fights. There was good old-fashioned Donnie Brooks and brawls, especially the 70s, the 80s, even into the 90s. But last 20 years or so, it's really, really, really settled down a lot. I only saw in the last 5 years, I mean, there might be more, but the last time I saw the benches empty between the Carp and the Tigers this year, I believe it was a Carp pitcher drilled a Tiger pitcher in the head, and both of the benches had emptied. There wasn't really any fisticuffs or anything along those lines, but definitely had made some changes, or they definitely were upset. There are some defensive changes. Masaki Momori has moved over to first base. The other changes we'll have to catch up on, and usually we don't always get to them. We know that there are a couple of changes. There's a new third baseman and a new outfielder as well for the BayStars. But in that position there, that is... we'll have to catch up at a later point, usually either when they come to bat or at the end of the half inning. Sometimes the NPB site is a little bit slow to update. Sports Navi, if you've got the app, if you are in Japan, it's a pretty good app. If you can read kanji, that'll work out well. Well, it is going to be Sawai, Kahani, and Nakamura to come to bat here against the right-hander Iri, who delivers a first pitch fastball that swung on and missed. That one there poured in at 97 miles an hour. The count is quickly 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike to Sawai. Sawai tonight 0 for 3. He's grounded out twice and is flown out to center. As Erie holds to the set. And here comes the pitch. It is another fastball swung on and missed. This one at 96, and the count is at 0-2. So he has come into the ball game and throwing nothing but gas. So no balls, 2 strikes. Bauer in line for his 3rd win of the year. It'll make his record an even 500. If he can get the win here tonight, here comes the 0-2 pitch. And there is a split figure pitch swung on and missed, and it gets away from the catcher all the way to the backstop. Oh, that's going to tick you off. They strike out Sawai. They're not able to hang on to the pitch, and the runner is going to reach first base. We're going to see if that's going to go off the glove of the catcher, if it's an error. Let's see what we have here, or if it was a pass ball. He got absolutely chicken wing. It was a split finger pitch missing down and away. He tried to backhand the ball. It went off his glove and all the way to the backstop. And so that is going to allow the leadoff runner to reach first base. And so I can run a little bit. He doesn't have any stolen bases here at the NPB level, but he can run. That is going to bring Akahani to the plate, who's 1 for 3 tonight. He's got a single in 3 trips. But now the Swallows are going to bring on a pinch runner. And so it is going to be Hidetaka Namiki. So Namiki is running over here at first, and Namiki has some wheels. And they are already squaring the bunt. Here is Akahani. They throw over to first base, and diving back in time is the base runner. And Domingo Santana has come out of the dugout. He is on deck. So all kinds of chess going on here. As the right-hander works himself to the belt. Here's the pitch. Popped up, and this is going to be behind home plate. It's going to reach the seats. Oh, boy. Akahani was very fortunate there as that ball was rode up on him. He almost got what they wanted, the BayStars, and that is going to run the count to 0-1 here. Sometimes you'll see pitchers, they'll come with a high fastball on the first pitch. If they do that, they're trying to induce the pop-up. So no balls and 1 strike. As the right-hander works himself to the set, here's the pitch. The fastball bunted down the first baseline. Here he fields it. He throws to first, and that's going to retire Akahani. It goes as a sacrifice. It's going to go 1-4 in the books. It allows the runner to advance to second. And now that is going to be the end of the night for Yuhei Nakamura, the catcher, and it's going to bring Domingo Santana to the plate. So Santana coming to bat here. And I don't know, but I think if I was in this situation here, I'd just hold the 4 fingers up to take my chances with Iwata, because Santana has had himself a pretty decent last few seasons in the NPB. And certainly here with an opportunity to bang a single in here. He's hitting .286 on the year, 3 homers and 11 RBIs. I know you don't want to put the go-ahead run on base, but it would set up a double play potential. Although Iwata does run particularly well, who is the batter who's on deck. So here we go. Here comes the first pitch to Santana. As the right-hander kicks and delivers, it is a breaking ball taken for a called strike. The count is 0-1. When you think of Major League Baseball players who don't wear batting gloves, there's a few players that come to mind. But you don't see it very often in the NPB. But right now, Santana has tossed the gloves away. He's going with the bare hands here. I can't think of any other players right now in the NPB who are swinging without batting gloves. So he's going a little old school. So here comes the 0-1 pitch as he's waggling the bat. He does have the rubber ring on his thumb, though. And here comes the 0-1 as Erie kicks and delivers. A fastball swung through and missed. Oh, boy. 96 miles an hour, and it's now 0-2 to Santana. So no balls and 2 strikes. It's been an entertaining affair tonight here. Back and forth game. And right now, the 4th has gone to the BayStars as they currently have a 3-2 lead here in the top of the 9th inning. Right-hander Erie works himself again to the set position. He checks the runner over at second. And here comes the 0-2. Mickey jockeying at second base. The pitch on the way. Fastball taken for a called third strike at the knees. Santana stood there like the house by the side of the road. He watched it go by for out number 2. And that is going to leave it all up to the center fielder, Yukihiro Iwata. I got to tell you, we were talking about home cooking earlier on when Trevor Bauer wasn't getting the calls and the Japanese players or the hitters were. Well, there's a case of some home cooking right there. Erie gets the call. Santana takes the walk back to the dugout. As we get the replay on that one looked like it was below the knees. but too close to not swing at in that situation with 2 strikes. And that is going to bring up the center fielder, Yukihiro Iwata. Iwata is 2 for 3 today. He's got a couple of singles in his 3 trips. Batting here against the reliever. They need 1 out to go to the BayStars. There's a fastball swung on. It is lifted down the left field line in foul territory. Giving chase is Shibata, the third baseman. But it is going to land foul, and that is going to run the count quickly to no balls and 1 strike. So no balls and 1 strike here to Iwata. It is the pitcher's spot and the batting order next. So Iwata in the hole here at 0-1. Runner at second to Mickey. 2 gone in the 9th. And this is the other thing when you go into the bullpen, just the pace of the game becomes very, very snarled. We had a pretty good tempo going here. So here comes the 0-1 pitch as the right-hander again holds set, now fires. There's a breaking ball that just misses outside, and the count goes even to 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Once this game is over, we'll give you the full rundown of this, and then we'll also give you the update on around the scores from around the NPB, as there is a full slate of games on the docket here tonight. So Erie again looks at the sign from his catcher Matsuo as he works himself to the belt. Checks the runner at second. Here comes the 1-1. Split finger pitch down in the dirt. Good stop this time by Matsuo. Count goes to 2-1. I have to check to see if on the strikeout it was considered a pass ball. So no error on that particular play. So strikeout and pass ball, which allowed the leadoff batter Sawai to reach base. Of course, he's been pinch run for by Namiki. So 2 balls and 1 strike to Iwata. BayStars try to close it out here. 1-run ball game against the Swallows. Right-hander kicks and delivers. Fastball taken at the knees for a called strike, and the count runs even to 2-2. Another pitch at 97 miles an hour as the right hand of the home plate umpire goes up. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Swallows batter Iwata digs himself back in. Crowd now on their feet again for Yokohama, trying to close this one out. And the right-hander Erie ready to deliver again. Checks that runner over at second base. Here comes the 2-2. And he kicks and delivers. Fastball swung on, chop foul just over by the third base coach's box. Keeps the count at 2-2. Eloy says he's back, and back in the nick of time. We got a thrilling finish setting up here. Runner at second base. 2 balls, 2 strikes to the hitter Iwata. 2 gone in the bottom of the 9th inning. Swallows fans trying to urge their team on. The problem is that they don't have any big boppers to come off the bench. It's just going to be station-to-station baseball to try to finish it out. So here he comes, the offering again from the right-hander. And the pitch on the way. Fastball swung on and missed. Oh, that pitch was way over his head. I don't know what Iwata was swinging at. And he goes down on strikes for the 3rd out of the inning. Well, you kind of struck out the side, but he had to get 4 outs to do it here in the inning for Ira. It was that strikeout in the pass ball. And then the sacrifice bunt and a couple of strikeouts to end the inning. No runs in the inning, no hits, no errors, 1 left aboard. Your final score in this one here is the BayStars 3 and the Swallows 2. We'll be back to wrap this one up for you in just a couple of moments. Thank you guys for being here with us tonight on the Last Rouse Baseball YouTube channel.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Namaste. Hey, I hope you guys have been enjoying the game. My name is Hollis. I've got a YouTube channel called Another Hollis Build. I love baseball cards. I open up brand new product for you guys. I open up old stuff. I do breaks. I do auctions. all kinds of stuff concerning baseball. I'm Friars faithful, Padres to the end. I also love Garbage Pail Kids and my animals. I have a ton of animals. It's like a mini petting zoo here around my house. I also love my city, San Diego, baby. I take you all around the city and show you what's up. If you guys dig stuff like that, cruise on over and check it out. It's another Hollis build. If you dig it, subscribe. I'd really appreciate to have more follow me along on the journey. Hey, either way, you guys have a wonderful day or a beautiful, beautiful evening. No matter which one it is, make sure that you make it great, my friends. Big up Last Raps Baseball. Yeah, Freddie, let's go. One love and peace. Yeah, man.
Welcome back, everybody. We're going to give you the rundown on this one, and then we're going to give you the roundup from around the NPB as all but 2 games are finals. Well, the scoring got going in the first inning here. The first pitch that Trevor Bauer delivered tonight to Takumi Kitamura was deposited into the left field seats to give the Swallows an early 1-0 lead in the first inning. The BayStars responded in their bottom half of the first. It was a leadoff double off the bat of Kuwahara. And then after back-to-back flyouts, the second one off the bat of Sano drove home Kuwahara with a sacrifice fly to even the score at 1. Sano then scored the second run for the BayStars with a leadoff home run in the fourth inning, giving Yokohama a 2-1 lead. But again, the Swallows responded in their half of the fifth inning. A leadoff single off the bat of Akahani after a couple of groundouts. It was an RBI single off the bat of pinch hitter Tetsuda Yamada to even the scoreline at 2. And then it was all the way to the bottom of the eighth inning. It was with 1 out. Koki Kajiwara stepped up and hit a double. And then after a ground out by Kuwahara, Tyler Austin was intentionally walked. And then stepped Kaida Sano, the hero on the night again, delivering his third RBI of the night with a double into the right center field gap. That brought home Kajiwara to make the score 3-2. And that is where it ended in this one. Win goes to Trevor Bauer. He will go to 3-3 on the season. And by our books, it looks like the loss is going to be tagged more than likely here to Hoshi, as he had given up that run before Taguchi had come in to allow the double to score it off the bat of Sano. Well, we'll give you the scores from around the NPB as well. Well, first of all, take a look at the Pacific League. The Fighters beat the Marines tonight 1-0. That is a final. Another shutout, and that was the Eagles 3-0 over the Hawks. At Hotomoto Field in Kobe, that game is currently in the bottom of the second inning. It is the Buffaloes and the Lions locked at 0s. In some ways, I'm pretty glad we pivoted off of that Carp Tigers game tonight. We were originally going to call that one until we saw Bauer's name is getting the start. Tigers have an 8-0 lead over the Carp. That's in the bottom of the ninth inning. That would have been a complete snoozer, I'm sure, for all of us. Bottom of the eighth inning, the Dragons have a 4-1 lead over the Giants. That's at the Vantolin Dome. And again, your final here tonight, 3-2, the final. Appreciate everybody for popping in, whether it be education, whether it be the real Mozita. It was Eloy Perez, not to mention All Rails, as well as our friend Gracie Lynn, always making an appearance. Joe Mansman was in here tonight, not to mention our friend Steve Rademacher, as well as Brenton Bay, Keller Messer, Tyler Farron had made it in, Bradley Nuckless, not to mention Harrison, who popped in here for a while. I'm sure he fell asleep. But everybody else, in case I missed you, we do really enjoy having you guys in on the stream. It makes it all the best. Once again, everybody, have yourself a great evening. We will be on the airwaves a little later this week. We're going to get some of the NPB interlock games, or the crossover games between the leagues. Interleague play will be kicking off on Tuesday. We'll try to get some late night stuff done during the week, but we are not going to be on the weekend. We have some other commitments, but hopefully you guys can pop in and listen to the games that we will call at that point in time. We'll be back in just a bit. In a couple of days' time, Major League Baseball on Monday, and then some late-night Japanese baseball during the week. Have a great night, everybody. We will see you guys again soon. Appreciate you for listening in here on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel.